shack at. The bottles getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, April 19th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Snake bit last night, very frustrating. I deserved the L with the Golden Knights. I was astonished. 17 shots on goal. I couldn't believe what I saw. I mean, why didn't they lay an egg during the last run of the regular season? I mean, why do they have to go 14 or 15 games without a regulation loss and win the division and cost me the Oilers division bets and then lay an egg in the first game of the playoffs? I mean, it was just, shocking. Sharps were on the Jets. Sharps were right. I've already bet the Knights in game 2. Seattle, Colorado over 6. I thought it was shaping up perfect. 1 or 2 goals in the first period. The Kraken up 2-1, and then they got at least 3-1 early in the third period. I mean, that's perfect. You want the Avalanche playing from behind if you have an over. Disappointing. Marlins' first 5 was a casher. Reds' first 5 was a loss. I should have listened to Sharpie on Lodolo just to show the snake bit. Minnesota, Boston, first 5 under 4.5 cashes. Minnesota, Boston, full game under 8.5 loses. It was 2-1 going to the bottom of the ninth. 2-1 going to the bottom of the ninth, and I lose under 8.5. Arizona, St. Louis, first 3 under 2.5. I'm following all sorts of games, right? We get out of the bottom of the second inning. We get out 1-0, I think. But they challenged the play. So I go back to see what's going on in the top of the third. And it's still the bottom of the second. And it's, what was it? I don't know if it was a 1-1 or 2-0, what the hell it was. But, of course, then I lose it in the next inning. And the Mets-Dodgers were wrong. Look, the first 5 over 4, full game over 8. But even there, it's the bottom of the fifth. It's 3-0. Loaded bases with 1 out. Just need 1 for the push, single for the cash. So it's, I'm going to keep firing. Viper says the chat saved his hide yesterday. He says those looks were tragic. Leafs got waxed. Vipers on Miami, San Francisco over 7.5. Miami money line -104 so far. Dan Kelly, look, we believe in your actions, so don't worry. It was just one of those nights, Nuclear said I asked a question on this show. What happens if Samsonov gets lit up? You were absolutely right. We talked about it. We talked about what his numbers are in the playoffs and how could he possibly be trusted. I also said similar things about Grubauer, unfortunately, who looked good last night. But yeah, man, those of you who moved on the Leafs, now maybe you like the series price now. I was surprised they're not a bigger dog. I was shocked, but I don't know how anybody can bet on them in the playoffs, even though I like this team better than any team that I've seen since Doug Gilmour took them to the conference finals where they lost to my Nucks. This is a pretty good hockey team, but look, the Lightning have been there and done that, and Leafs never have. Billy Friedrich going to game 2 of the Isles-Canes series tonight. I took the under 5. We'll go over that. I took the under 5 at +117. I like that spot a lot. Mr. Vape in the house, up 16 units yesterday. I love hearing that, Mr. Vape, because Billy Friedrich's already on the under 5 too. Beautiful. We're both on the under 5. Alex Hills. I can't wait. Alex Hills, save it for tomorrow when Ghoster's here, because that will bring some joy to me. And look at that. Big show picks. Wow. Your boy's going to be a daddy. My fiance is pregnant. Wow. Congratulations. Big show. You're going to love it, man. It's just, when the time is right, it's the greatest thing that can happen when the time is right. And I think time's right for you, man. That's what wonderful, wonderful news. Congratulations. Oh, wow. Big show. Now I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel a little better. That's just wonderful, Big Show. Congratulations, man. You're going to be a great dad. Yeah, man, that's great. I love it. Ryan Mueller in the house, serious business. Touting Derek White. Yeah, we talked all about what Derek White does in the playoffs. He just keeps doing it. D. Jenkins, Sean Sullivan, Bo Jackson, Joe Ortner, Vom Polo. Good work. Joey Harb, Spenny Penny Bombs, Rem Most, Justin McElvey, Alex Hills. That was a tough spot for the Oilers, Alex. I really thought it was a tough spot. Remember, they lost game 1 last year in the playoffs. Now, I don't see how to bet them. It's just too expensive for the -1. So I don't see how to bet them. But I did bet the under 6.5. I already bet that. But sidewise, and this is a gift. That game, it was a shock that it went to 7 goals, right? It was a shock. Those last 2 times they played were very low scoring. It's just a perfect situation for us for unders in that series now, I believe. I'm also interested in the Kings under, but it was just not the right price because they're the dog here. Billy Freeman took another unit bet on both the Stars and Golden Knights to win their series. I've thought about that. Clint says NHL playoffs day 2 was rough for me. We'll bounce back here. Yes, Dad Fan says, what about that under in Twins Red Sox? That was just very difficult. RVD faded the Devils at home. I thank God I didn't bet the Devils. Rangers took care of business. It really helps. There's some listening I did well yesterday. I mean, I saw DG on the Rangers. Look, I've got Rangers futures. I was very happy with the way they played. Spending Penny Bomb said Vladdy Dinger at plus 360. Bregman over 1.5 total bases. All right, let's get to work here. There is Nasty Nate said murdered the NBA up 7 units. I love it. Rant, Subhuman Gaucho, Grit and Grind, Ron Lofton, Brian Watson, Lute, Chase, Fox. Put a new K in the bankroll. 3-team run line last night. Braves, Rangers, and Cubs. 11-1. Beautiful work. I was happy that the Cubs came through for you guys late. Very, very happy about that. Very happy that you guys could get that. Great to see all you guys. Daniel Son in the house. Daniel Son says, welcome to the No Sleep Club. My daughter's 5 and my son's 2, and the No Sleep Club still rears its ugly head at times like it did last night. Kids just have tough nights, and you got to be up there all night. At least I was capping the whole time. All right. Spenny says Rangers Jets loved yesterday. Jets were all up in Briscoe. Yeah. Now I don't know. So the over I've already bet. I've already bet the over in the Vegas in next game over. Briscoe is in trouble. What are they going to do? Bring in Johnny Quick? The Knights just had 17 shots on goal. I mean, this is what makes game 2 so easy. I wish I just stayed strong. Sometimes I just want action, and Sharpie said, just stay strong. You do what works. Don't bet game 1s, but whatever. It is what it is. Markel in the house. Great to see you. Troy Torrance says leaning, but haven't moved on Bucks. White Sox money line, first 5 under. Cubs run line, Cards team total over. Copy and paste that. All right, let's get to work. So first off, let's talk about the show today. It's a great one. We have the Big Ragoo returning, making his MLB debut. We have a new schedule now, and Wednesdays are going to be Ragu 1 week, CMAC the next. Ragu 1 week, CMAC the next. It'll either be Ragu or CMAC every Wednesday here on Betting with the Bag. Ragu last year in MLB put on a clinic, as he always does, of 44-31, 58.7%, plus 13.57 units, ROI plus 18.09%, average line plus 104. He does it with a plus average line as well. I'm just going to pop it into the chat. This is what Ragu did on our show last year. It's what he does on our show every year. So there we go. So then we have Derl. Darryl joining us in NBA. Darryl coming off sweeping the board last show he was on. And this is Darryl's record here on the show this year. Coming off an excellent year last year, showing consistency. It's very, very difficult to win year after year. This is Darryl's second year with us. He had a spectacular year last year, and he was losing off the top. So he's pulled that out. It's very, very impressive. Very, very, very impressive. All right. Let's get to work right now. We start in NHL. East, first round, game 2, Carolina lead series 1-0. These series arrive. I'm not saying that there's no, we know there's no such things as locks or guarantees or any of that bullshit. But I love when two defensive teams play in the playoffs. The 5.5s become juiced to -140, but you don't need the 5.5s. Take the 5s at plus money. And it truly is a gift. Billy Friedrich says Ranta confirmed a net 12-1 at home this season, but I have an odd feeling that this may be an out spot. Maybe it is. If it is, it's because the Hurricanes aren't scoring. The Hurricanes scored 2 goals on the power play. This is the 20th ranked power play this year in the National Hockey League, and they hadn't scored. They hadn't scored. They'd gone 3 for 31 on the power play back to March 26th, and that's the reason why the final score was 2-1. I mean, this is a really wonderful opportunity for an under. Spenny's taking the Isles tonight. Look at that. Billy Friedrich says Canes fans have become spoiled. Lots of empty seats in the lower level for game 1. Canes fans average hockey IQ right around 65. Look, we were angry when you guys won the Stanley Cup and had a barbecue for 400 people. But look, now the Coyotes play in a 4,000 seat arena called the Mullet Arena. So you've been usurped with your what I don't know what the right word to call it, but I don't know what's the right word without saying something horrifying. But it's disappointing. Got great cities like Quebec City, Houston, looking for a franchise. Idiocy. Idiocy is close. Okay, so let's break this down. We'll start off with the line history here for this one. And look, I love the under 5 at plus money. I don't just like it. I love it. And it may be a bet we make all series long. And look, it's a bet that's vulnerable to empty net goals. You certainly don't want it to be 3-1, with no time left. But that's just, that's what we're dealing with. The Hurricanes opened up -165. They're now -168 from a total perspective. This opened up under 5 at -133. The over 5, people always love betting over 5s. It opened, it got there at 144 in the morning at -140 to the over at Pinnacle. And there's been, a move towards the under even at that number. So it moved at 144. We've had a 3-cent move, but the over 5's gone at 6 cents from -140 to -134. That under 5's gone from +122 down to +119 because it's a beautiful bet. PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Dabby Cabson thinks Barrios is going to mess up and Alvarez is going to smash it. Very, very likely. But the Astros don't scare me offensively right now against righties, but we'll talk about that here. Islanders 42-31-9, 17-18-6 on the road this year. Hurricanes 52-21-9, 28-10-3 at home. Sorokin, very good goaltender, 31-22-7, 2.34 goals against average, 924 save percentage, 6 shutouts. Very capable of stealing a game here or there. Ranta has been the choice to start over Freddie Anderson. I agree with that call. 19-3-3, 2.23 goals against average, 910 save percentage, 4 shutouts. These power plays are weak, which sets us up for the under 5 in a playoff game. The under 1.5 was -140 when I looked at it. We don't want that because it could be 1-1 and we could still comfortably cash the under at 1-1 after the first. Islanders power play is was 30th in the league this year, 15.8%. And their penalty killing was 9th in the league at 82.2%. They're also very good at face-offs. I've added the face-off winning percentage here for our playoff breakdowns because it becomes quite important. They're both good. The Islanders were 10th this year, winning 51.7% of their draws. Carolina, 20th power play in the league, although it's been worse of late. 84.4% penalty killing. That's the second best. So, look, I know the Islanders power play is going to be better with Barzal. And you can cash in rebounds, get lucky, cash in rebounds. But you have the second best penalty killing against the 30th power play. And you have a Carolina team that wins faceoffs, 52.9%. They are 5th in the league in faceoffs. Billy Friedrich says, I also think we see Freddie Anderson either game 3 or game 4 of the series, win or lose tonight. That's very interesting. We got looks in Bellator for the diehard MMA podcast from Clint. I will copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Clint. My man, Clint, running nice and hot. Okay, Mark Campbell says, Morton pitching San Diego team total is that in play. You guys can discuss baseball all you want, but we're going to be there in 15 minutes with the Big Ragoo. So Sebastian Aho, Noason scored power play goals. Will that happen again? The number 2 penalty killing in the league shut down all of the Islanders' 4 power plays. I expect to see a lot more of that. Sorokin, 35 saves. He looks good. Barzal returned from that lower body injury that cost him 23 games. He's on that first line with Anders Lee and Bo Horvat. Barzal played 21 minutes. It got 2 shots on goal. He'll get better as the series goes on. So there we go. If from a side perspective, I just don't want to be involved. This is going to be a tough game. And, I guess value-wise, you have to say the Islanders at this price, but I would just take the under 5 and get paid. Saturate says are you coming back on the ice if you get 75 stitches in your grill? I mean, God, wasn't that the toughest display? These hockey players are just the toughest guys I've ever seen. That was unbelievable. 75 stitches and he's back out on the ice. Unbelievable. All right, under 5 and plus 117 for me. Let's move on to game 2. This is the only game I don't have a move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, East first round, game 2. Boston leading the series 1-0. 1-0. Okay, so TD Garden, Alex Lyon versus Linus Ullmark. So this is the one thing we look out for in this playoffs. Okay, so obviously we have the best team we've seen in years against a very mediocre Panther squad, but this is what we look for. Now, Lyon is a 30-year-old journeyman. Those guys can get hot. He wasn't terrible, but he did allow a bad goal to Marchand. But he wasn't terrible. At some point, especially if they get lit up here, there's Mike M in the house, Sweaty Butcher, Billy Friedrich, Justin McElvey, Rem Most. Great to see you guys. Johnny K, Matthew Green. At some point, especially if the Bruins win here comfortably, which I think is in the cards, especially if Bergeron comes back, which we expect, maybe a puck line here on the Bruins is worth it. Maybe it is. I really want to know about Bergeron. But even without him, I think they can get it. But with Bergeron, it's different. If how about this? If Bergeron is announced in, I'll move on the puck line. But I need to know if Bergeron is in. Johnny K says Bergeron points. We need to know if he's playing. He did not play. It's not a sickness because they were saying he was sick, but it's still that lower body injury. So this is what's up. This is a main angle. As soon as they get rocked and they bring in Bobrovsky for a game, hasn't played since March 27th because of a non-COVID illness, and they don't want him out there. As soon as he's in, we take the Bruins -2, and we take the team total over. Take it to 4 or 4.5 or whatever we please. So everybody just, as soon as the Panthers panic and say, oh, maybe we should put Bobrovsky in net, just hammer the Bruins and hammer the team total over. That's the main thing that we should look for here. The main thing. Subhuman Gaucho looking at Barkov under 2.5 shots on goal. So quickly here, Lyon versus Ullmark. Ullmark 46-1, 1.89 goals against, average .938 save percentage, 2 shots. That's one of the finest seasons in NHL history by a goaltender. Florida's power play 22.8%, 10th in the league, going up against the number 1 penalty kill in the league, 87.3%. Quite a bit better than the Hurricanes' number 2 penalty kill. Florida's penalty kill bad, 76%, 23rd in the league. Bruins power play wasn't that great this year, 22.2%, 12th in the league. And then here's the other big thing. The Panthers just can't win enough faceoffs. 22nd in the league, 48.9%, going up against the second best faceoff team in the league. Well, you're going to be in trouble. And that's what's going to happen here. Johnny K says, you think Bob gets in? Not tonight. But what if Lyon allows 7 goals? At some point, if they panic and put in Bobrovsky, we take the gift. So they open up with a 3-1 victory at home in game 1. Pasternak, Marchand, and DeBrusk scored in game 1. I mean, look, Ullmark was awesome. Bertuzzi, what a character piece he's added. 2 assists for Boston. And so, look, here it'll say Patrice Bergeron sitting out because of an illness, but, it was an upper body injury in the first period of that Bruins game. So I don't know. If anybody knows exactly what's going on with him, I would love to hear. I don't know. I expect it's the upper body injury, in all honesty. Krejci missed the last 6 games of the regular season with a lower body injury. He was excellent. 20 minutes, 59 seconds, 1 assist with Bergeron out of the lineup. Very important. Billy Friedrich says Bergeron, Boston could rest Bergeron for this entire series and be okay. I think you want him out in the ice. You want him. You want at this point in the year, you want your guys playing at a high level. And Barzal is not capable of doing that after missing 23 games. I was surprised that Forbor was in. Look how we'll talk about the depth of the Bruins team. Grizzlchick was a healthy scratch. He had 26 points this year and was a plus 46. He was a healthy scratch. That's how deep this team is. There's DG in the house. What up, Sky Dragon? All right, so Sam Bennett would be so helpful for the Panthers in this series, but he's out. He's accompanied the team to Boston. I just think because he's a stand-up guy. He's on IR. He wants to be able to play at some point in this series. He missed the last 12 games of the series. And Sky Dragon says not giving us minus 205 on Boston again. Oh well, I still want to lay it. You know what? I made the decision, DG. If they announce Bergeron in, I'm just going to take the puck line. Billy Friedrich says Bergeron skated on his own this morning, but was not at the morning skate with the team. Thank you, Billy. That's great. Great update. I do not think that Bergeron will be in the lineup, and I do not think I'll be on the puck line because of it. That's the only game I don't have action in. So, again, though, as soon as you hear Bobrovsky's announced, which won't be tonight, but it'll be at some point in the series, might be on the weekend, just remember, as soon as you hear Bobrovsky's announced, take the Bruins on the -2 line, you take the Bruins team total, and you can ladder it. Maybe it's time to ladder it. All right. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm on the Stars on the -1 line at plus 110. That line has not changed. It's exactly where it was. Let me just refresh this to make sure. Yeah, it's exactly where I bet it. I bet it yesterday. Has not changed a cent. Let's see if Pinnacle's done any changing on this line here. Let's move over here. We have Dallas opening up at -146. They're now -154. That's a good sign. So I don't mind that. I got the -150 and the plus 175. Totals wise, this under 5.5 was at -120. It's now -126. I took a really close look at it. I took a close look at the under here. I still kind of like it. Billy Friedrich says, is Pavelski playing? My answer is no. Now, that's not being confirmed by anybody, but my answer is no. And Pavelski, where he's the most important is in front of the net on the power play. It's been people in the inside NHL circles believe that there's nobody in the entire league better at deflecting the puck or being in front of the net, even for a little guy, than Pavelski. So let's break this down. American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, Minnesota Wild. They have a ton of heart and a ton of character, and they showed that. They showed it down the stretch without Kaprizov. They showed it in their first game of the playoffs without Eriksson Ek. 21-13-7 on the road. The Stars 22-10-9 at home. Gustafsson versus Ottinger. Gustafsson is the real deal. Man, he looks good. Both these goalies looked excellent in that overtime. Minnesota's power play 15th in the league at 21.4%. 10th in the league in penalty killing at 82%. And the very interesting part of this Minnesota Wild squad is they're bad at the faceoff circle. And it's going to cost them. They have possibly the hottest goaltender in the NHL right now. I'm sure you and Mark would have something to say about that, but Gustafsson has been incredible. But they win 47.7% of their faceoffs. That's 26th in the league. And the Stars are the best faceoff team in the league, 54.8%, better than the Bruins. That's going to hurt them. That's going to cost them the series. But look, this Wild team has enormous character, and they keep handling adversity very, very well. Both goalies were excellent in Minnesota's game one, double overtime victory. Gustafsson, 52, made 52 saves. Ottinger, 45 saves. And Tyler Seguin will take over Pavelski's spot on the top line. So that's what's happening here. Seguin's going to come up, and I'm on the Stars -1. I see them taking care of business here, and I also want the under in this game. I guess I needed to sit here and discuss it, and you could definitely say that. Well, there's two things going on here. One, the under 5.5 is -125 at Bet365. My totals at -125 are negative ROI. You have to hit at a really high level when you're dealing with -125s. And secondly, does it correlate with a -1? You could say that it doesn't, and that would be fair. Matthew Green, I'll definitely comment on it, my friend. I definitely will. So I'm going to add the under. I don't see how I can't. I'm going to add the under 5.5. I guess would there be a preference to, looking at the Wild team total under? I doubt it. The team total under 2.5 is minus 125. I'd rather be alive for both. Luke Chase says under 5.5 minus 125. I don't love that. Look, I get it. I get it. I get why you wouldn't. And minus 125s are not good, but I just, these goaltenders are going to get even hotter after that overtime. These goaltenders are completely in the zone. I'm going to move on it. So that's going to be my first addition here. Let's move on to the final game on today's board, 10 p.m. Eastern. And look, honestly, I truly believe this is I'm trying hard not to say a gift. Bankroll Spence says, why do you take the 5.5 here and the 5 in the other game? Because one's just a slam dunk. In this one, I need a 3-1 or a 4-1 final. I just feel vulnerable because I'm on the -1 line. I'm not on the -1 line on the other because because my favorite look on this game is the Stars to win this game. I feel like I'd prefer having the 5 goals scored in this game still a win. Let's move on to this spot here. Korpisalo, Stewart, Skinner, LA Kings, Edmonton Oilers, Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta. You have 2 very good power plays, but we see we've watched these 2 teams play in very emotional, low-scoring games. It was very fortunate for the overbettors that this one went over in game 1. I think getting a 6.5 here is absolutely spectacular offer. I moved at -115. I don't think this has moved. It has not moved either. I love it. Look, both teams have very strong power plays. Both teams are weak penalty killing. One of the things that's going to push the Kings through is they're the 3rd best face-off winning team in the National Hockey League. So Stars, Bruins, Kings. And Oilers aren't great. 15th. Kings, 25.3% power play, 4th in the league. Edmonton, obviously the best power play in the history of the NHL. 32.4% this year. Both penalty killing sort of struggle, but the Oilers know how to play a tight, sort of a road style playoff game, and that's what they need to play here tonight. I love the under 6.5. So let's take a look at the line history here, and then we're going to get into MLB here in a second with the Big Ragoo. Here we go. Oilers open up -203. Now they're -230. It's too big they're too big of a favorite. The Kings are too dangerous for that. This is a pick'em. There's been an 8-cent move to the under 6.5. It's now -115. This was at -110 at 5 in the morning. I agree with this move to the under. I think it's a great spot. Clint says I first period under 1.5 might be the move too. Whenever there's bets, I think, well, what could go wrong here? I think that the Oilers could be up 2-0 after the first period, and I still cash my under 6.5. That's my only concern, is that the Oilers do bag a couple early. So I don't dislike it at all. I like it, but I'm not going to double down into it here. I'm not going to double down into it. Billy Frieder says Oilers in 5 games versus the Kings this season, counting the playoffs, have only scored 12 goals versus them. Billy Frieder said Kempe's the next NHL superstar. Okay, well, let's talk about a couple of things. Kempe scored twice, and Kopitar was spectacular with a goal and 3 assists, but they're going to miss Kevin Fiala in this series. I mean, he was their leading scorer when he got hurt. He ended up, 2 points behind Kopitar in the final standings. 23 goals, 72 points in 69 games. They're going to miss him. It's unclear when he'll be available, and they're going to miss him in this series. They didn't miss him in game 1. Remember, the Oilers lost game 1 last year in the opening round and still won it in 7. Skinner stopped 31 shots, but he did not look great in the 3rd period. So, the jury's out on Skinner. And then Korpisalo looked good. There we go. Ron Crawford in the house. Spreadsheet is Minnesota -127 today. Thank you for sharing that with us. So let's go over all action here. in NHL, and then I'm going to touch on the night series from my man Matthew. So let me just get this. This is the Twins. That's the late game here. Sorry, let me grab that here. That's the late game. That's at 7:10 p.m. Twins, Red Sox. There we go. Okay. We are in business. Patrice is out officially. Jose says Patrice Bergeron is out officially. So I'm not going to take the puck line without him. But I look forward to bet him. Even if it's 2-0 Boston, I would be interested if Bergeron's into. And I do. This is not a sickness. They keep saying it's sickness. It's an injury. But, all right. So let's. So back to this spot. So just let you guys know, I've already moved on tomorrow. So let me pull it up here. I'm on the Knights -1 at +108. Has that moved? It has not moved a cent. I'm on the over 5.5 at -115. That has not moved a cent. I was astonished how bad the Knights were. Just astonished. Again, their star player comes back, Stone, and they changed their lines around, and it didn't work out. Now they have their Wild Bill, Marchessault, Riley Smith line that brought them to the Stanley Cup Finals and as their second line together again. I just couldn't believe how bad they played, and Brossoit is in trouble. And what do they do? Bring in Johnny Quick. So I think goals are going to be scored, and I'm on the Knights -1. And I don't know what they're going to do in this series. Winnipeg just looked like a very mature, seasoned playoff squad in that game, and they have those types of players. So. But yes, I've already moved on both those spots. I'm on the over 5.5 -115. I'm on the Vegas Knights -1 tomorrow. Tonight, I'm on the under 5 at +117 in Islanders, Carolina. I'm not moving. So Bergeron's being announced out. Thank you for that, Jose. I'm not moving on the Florida-Boston game, although I do expect a lower scoring game there. We're getting a 6 at +100. The problem is Lyon. I don't know if I trust Lyon. I kind of like that under 6, though, without Bergeron. Let's just see what's gone on with the line history here just quickly on that total. Yeah, it opened up at 6.5. So it was my fault. I could have got a 6.5. And I was looking at it last night. I can't take a 6 if I could have got a 6.5. Damn. I don't know why I just didn't. I guess because of Lyon. I guess Lyon concerned me, which is fine. I got to let that go. I'm not going to chase that line move. I'm on the Stars -1. I'm adding the under 5.5 in Minnesota, Dallas. I'm on the Kings Oilers under 6.5 at -115. That's my NHL for today. And, maybe I don't get as hot as I did last year, but I'm going to end the year in the black in NHL, and we're going to get hot right now. And it was a shit start last night. All right. Let's go to MLB and bring on your guest. He will be doing every second Wednesday with us from here on out. Last year, as I said off the top of the show, he was spectacular. 44 wins and 31 losses, 58.7% plus 13.57 units, ROI +18.09% AvLine+104. I couldn't tell you, and maybe it's never happened. And I'm honest, I couldn't tell you any time he's been negative on any sport with me, ever. Now, there's been times where he started out a little bit negative, but, look, he started out a little bit negative in NFL. Next thing you know, he's up 18 units on our Sunday shows. He's as skilled as any capper that I've ever seen, and we are very fortunate that he runs with us. And I'm very thankful that he runs with us. Please welcome, from Ocala, Florida, making his 2023 MLB season debut, the Big Ragoo in the house. What up, Doc?
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up, chat? How's everybody doing today? Hope everything is well. Looking forward to this long boys of summer, trying to get some W's early on instead of trying to come back from behind the 8 like I usually do in baseball. But we're going to get off on the right foot today. And so far, the season for me has been pretty decent. Not spectacular, but I'm in the plus already. So that's a good sign going forward.
It is. It is. I know that you do like waiting a little bit before really going all in with your action. So I think that this is a perfect time for you to open up your account here with us. Ragu,
Yeah,
and
I
thank
agree.
you for joining us. Getting a lot of love here in the chat. And JPZ says it best. I know we making money today, says JPZ. Well, let's get right to work, Doc. We start at 12:35 p.m. Eastern with your Tampa Bay Rays, 15-3, 5-3 on the road at Cincinnati Reds, 7-10, 6-5 at home. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have the biggest single move of any game on the card today. For whatever reason, maybe it was the unknown about Levi Stout, but for whatever reason, I didn't realize that this was a perfect opportunity for Rasmussen to bounce back. And I didn't realize it all until too late, and the market had just flown right past me, and I had to just hang my head in shame and not move on this game. This one pops off in 1 hour. Let's talk about the weather first, then we'll go into the line history and the cash. Weather-wise, 62 Fahrenheit, 7.2 miles per hour in between 7.2 and 7.3 all game long. Line history-wise, just an enormous move towards the Rays. Over at Pinnacle, with no pitcher change or anything, over at Pinnacle, we've had a 72-cent move to the Tampa Bay Rays. They opened up last night, 8:06 p.m. at -186. Right now, they're -258. From a total perspective, this opened up at 9.5, and it moved to 10, and that did surprise me a little bit. Surprise me a little bit. Bet365 doesn't give out the first 5 team totals, but we got to count with Bet Online that we've been running and using in our live action. Again, we have the Bet Online. If you're opening up a brand new account with Bet Online, you type in Pub Sports, they will match your buying up to $1,000, 100% up to $1,000. So I looked at the first 5 team total under for the Reds, but it was 1.5, and with the total at 10, I just couldn't do that. Markel took the Rays -3.5. DC Capper coming off a big day. I love seeing that. But we have Rasmussen versus Stroud. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it all correlates here to where the line is moving. Here we go. Sorry, got so much shit up here. So we have 96% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Rays. If you got in last night, if you got in under -200, then I get it. But if not, that's a little uncomforting. 62% of the tickets are on the under, and it's gone from 9.5 to 10. Only 47% of the cash is. So there are bigger bets on the over in this one. We have Rasmussen 2-1, 2.60 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, 17 1/3, 19 Ks, 4 walks, 1 homer. He hadn't allowed a run in his first 2 starts. Then he got lit up by the Jays in that loss against Barrios.
Yeah.
4 1/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 4 Ks, 4 walks. And then we have Levi Stout. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2019 draft by the Mariners out of Lehigh University. We'll talk about what he's done this year, but we'll go back to 2022. 2022, he made 18 starts with AA Arkansas, and he didn't look good. 5.28 ERA was 6-6, 1.31 WHIP, 82 Ks and 22 walks. Then they move him up to AAA, and he gets 6 starts there, but he only pitched 19 innings in those 6 starts, and he had a 1.55 WHIP, 10 Ks, 9 walks. Oh, sorry, that was last. Sorry, 1.50 was this year in 3 starts. Sorry. So in 6 starts, he had a 1.42 WHIP, 19 innings, 15 Ks, 10 walks, 15 Ks, 10 walks. Then this year in 3 starts at Louisville, and just 11 innings, he has 10 Ks and 9 walks. I don't know. I just don't know. Wow. We should stop quickly. Cashman 19 in the house said good report from the cancer doctor and 6-1 last night. Cashman, that makes us very, very pleased, my friend. That is wonderful news. We have many, many years that we'll be capping together, and we love you, Cashman. Will Rizza says Rasmussen K-prop came out at 5. Doesn't make sense. Probably gets touched up. Correlates with the total coming out at 9.5. It does. And by the way, Dan Kelly just got on Minnesota plus 934 to win the series. Ailing Jokic means you can't pass on those odds. Doesn't mean it's a winner, but you got to grab those odds. There it is right there. That's very interesting. Okay, so back here, I do not trust Stout at all. That K walk ratio, I don't know what he's capable of here. The Rays are hitting 272, 887 OPS versus righties. Reds are hitting righties okay, 249, 724. Rays bullpen been very good this year, 3.06 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. Will only get better as the season goes on. And the Reds bullpen has been much, much better than last year, 4.19 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Take it away for us here, Big Ragoo, your Rays in action at the Great American Ballpark.
My adopted Rays team You know, when Rasmussen got on the mound against Manoah in Toronto, Manoah did everything right.
It was Barrios, right? I believe it was the
I'm
Barrios.
sorry, Barrios.
Yeah.
My bad, Barrios. But anyways, yeah, Bichette had a monster game. He had like 5 for 5. You know, and Rasmussen was a little off. Something. It was just one of those things. You know, it just goes to show you how tough it is. You know, with these streaks. Even though 13 wins going for 14 was something else. But anyways, and Barrios, and they usually did pretty good against them. But I think, you know, I'm not going to call it an aberration, but, you know, wasn't one of his better quality starts that game. But I think he bounces back here. You know, there's not a whole lot of history between him and the Reds, and he's got pretty decent stuff overall. And the call up, like you said, with Stroud, you know, he was part of Stroud. He was part of that Castillo deal with the Mariners. But you know, the Rays are red hot. You know, they're playing in a park that loves to give up runs. You know, and they're swinging hot bats. And we'll see what this Rook's got in his arm. But I was trying to figure out a way because it got a little pricey too. I didn't get involved early in the game, but I was just trying to figure out a way to kind of get involved with Rasmussen without laying all the juice. But then again, you know, sometimes with these first timers when they come up, you know, like last year, I think we're on a D-backs kid that came up that I looked at, liked him a lot, and then I didn't do a lot of homework on this kid, but I read what the coaches said about him, and they got a lot of faith in this kid. You know, last year, you know, they want to make him part of the rotation. They really want him to work his way in. So, you know, we've seen it with Green last year. Maybe he's that kid. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take a little shot on something that I usually don't do here, but and this is on DraftKings. It's batters to the plate in the first inning. For the first team, like under 3.5 batters. You know, that's just to start the inning off. Let me look up that play, Jimmy. Let me word it correctly, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so what it is it's the Cincinnati Reds batter to the plate first inning. It's posted on DraftKings, and it's under 3.5 at plus 140. So I'm gonna say that the Reds, they don't send more than 3.5 batters to the plate, and that's based on Rasmussen's numbers, correct? So I'm going to say that Rasmussen retires a side on the Reds 1, 2, 3 for plus 140. So I'm putting my faith back in Rasmussen.
It's a very interesting wager, and you're getting plus money on it. So, man, I like it. I get it. Reds under 3.5 batters in the first inning. And Ragu is on the board. I'd like to take a second here and talk about Lil Domo. Lil Domo saying that's great news to Cashman. It says that Lil Domo's mom beat cancer 7 years ago and it came back this year. So she starts chemo soon. Lil Domo, you will be in all of our thoughts. Everybody handles, you know, some people pray, everybody does things differently, but I can promise you that we will be thinking about your mom, Lil Domo, and she proved the type of fighter that she is already. And so we will be just sending as much love and light and healing energy and everything we can to your mom, Lil Domo, and truly thinking about you guys, you and your family. So we're here for you and thinking about you and sending as much positivity as we can. And Dan Kelly says that his brother had his throat cancer cut out a month ago after 2 months of chemo, and the doc says he looks good. So, cancer is so close to all of us, right? We all being affected by it. And, you know, here at Pub, we lost Tim Steves, whom we love dearly. We lost him to pancreatic cancer, and right after the puzzler died, of cancer. It's just it's very tough. And then Collins Clip says, he lost both of his parents to bone cancer 2 years ago. Dad was 56, mom was 52. It's just it's such a it's always fucking sitting there, and waiting for people, and it shows how life can be so unrelenting and so unfair. All we can do though is just be there for each other, man. And so thinking about you, Lil Domo, as you go through this. Thinking about you, Kong's clips, as you go through this. And look, there's my mom in the chat right now saying always give love to moms, and wishing her the best. So, yeah.
My mother-in-law beat it and my sister beat it. So prayers up to you guys.
Yeah.
Fight the good fight. We'll keep her in our prayers.
Absolutely. Whew. Okay. Let's move on and do what we love more than anything, capping the baseball card. 1:10 p.m. Eastern is next up. Ragu is on the board. 1:10 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Guardians 9-9, 7-5 on the road at the Detroit Tigers, 7-9, 4-3 at home at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. Let's talk about the line history here for this one. Oh, sorry, we'll start with the weather. 47 Fahrenheit, cold. It's cold up here. 47 Fahrenheit, 5.8 miles per hour in. It stays between 5.8 and 6.1 miles per hour. It gets up to 52 Fahrenheit. Let's go over to the line history here for this Quantrill Turnbull start. We have Detroit opening up at plus 135. They know plus 118. A real legitimate move towards Turnbull and the Detroit Tigers. A big move. A big move. It didn't happen right away. Actually, it did. I guess happened about 2 hours in. 2 hours in, made the move, 6 cents, and then started from there. It's only been going in the Tigers' direction. Let's take a look at the total here, opening up at 8.5 and has dropped to 8. So it's dropped a half run. So, is that weather related? I mean, they're not. There's a big move towards the Tigers, so they're not saying that with the drop from 8.5 to 8. They're not saying that Quantrill is going to get lit up. They were saying that Turnbull is going to have a nice start, is what they're saying. Turnbull is going to have a nice start. Quinimus, great to see you. So Quantrill, Turnbull, Quantrill 0-1, 5.74 ERA, 1.66 WHIP, 19 Ks and 15 2/3, 5 walks, 2 homers. His last start was better, but it was at Washington. And Washington can't hit righties. They can't hit anybody. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks. I don't know how much of a confidence builder it is. If you want a confidence builder, it was Spencer Turnbull's last start. 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-1 win at Toronto. The Guardians aren't hitting righties, and the Tigers aren't hitting righties, and it's cold. Guardians 232, 671 OPS. Tigers 221, 633 OPS. The Guardians bullpen can be trusted. The Tigers bullpen can't, but the Tigers bullpen's been a little unlucky. With a 5.05 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. Guardians bullpen 3.10 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. Let's just take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 79% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the under. That's a lot of money on the under. At least it's moved from 8.5 to 8. And then you have 77% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the Guardians. And the line moving heavily towards the Tigers. Wow. Take it away for us here, Doc. Guardians, Tigers.
I don't like that news. I don't like that news at all, but it is what it is. The Tigers, they've been surging a little bit of late. Not to say anything negative on Turnbull's last outing, but he had that quality game versus the Jays. Quantrill, he's off to a little bit of a slow start. He's 1-2, sitting right there. So I'm sure that's playing into it. So probably the last looks on both of these pitchers here, but history has these numbers. The numbers are not great on both these guys, but I think Turnbull's numbers are worse history-wise with the Cleveland squad. He's 0-6 in 10 starts with versus the Cleveland team. And all those games, basically, his numbers have been north of 5. Now, I know you said it's a little bit cool out, the weather bearing, and then what's the total sitting at right now?
It's gone from 8.5 to 8.
8.5 to 8. Okay, so all right. So that means they would have to win like 5-3 or something like that. But what I was looking at on this particular game, I was looking at maybe a Cleveland team total over like 4.5 at plus 105. So I'm not going to make that one official as of yet, but that's one that I had written down. But I'm gonna make a note on that game, and before we get off the show, I'm gonna check a couple things out and make my decision. But that was my look on this game. I was kind of looking at Turnbull. I was isolating Turnbull versus Cleveland. What he's done with them in the past, and how they've always scored north of 5 runs in those games when they played them. And like you said, with the bullpen, for the Tigers here also. But I was had a real hard look on team total over 4.5 for Cleveland at plus 105.
It's just so we haven't seen Turnbull since 2021 when he, looked very good. It was a cup of coffee, but he looked very good. And this market move towards Detroit with all this money on Cleveland screams that Tigers are alive to me here.
Yeah, I agree. No, I mean they're surging. They're playing good ball right now. They got a little bit of a surge going on. So I wouldn't have an argument with the line move at all. I was trying to isolate. That was my one spot that I was trying to isolate. Basically trying to get an angle on the game, and outside of Detroit, playing a little bit better. Versus Cleveland. Cleveland could be real spotty with the bats too. That's the other thing. But
because it's only Ramirez that destroys them.
Yeah.
I mean, Ramirez 368, 5 RBIs, and 19 at bats, but no one else does. And there's a lot of comfort with Quantrill. Got Badu hitting 333 and 12 at bats. Cabrera hitting 583 and 12 at bats. Then Scope and Haas and Green are hitting 250. I mean, that's not a great sell point, but this makes me think that the Tigers are alive. Tigers are alive, and look at there you go. Razor sharp picks on Detroit money line plus 122. I'm going to get involved here, and I'm going to still have concern with the Tigers bullpen, even though it was really good last year, but it just hasn't been this year.
And what about the matchups for the other way for Quantrill?
Quantrill, they have a lot of comfort with them.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, they've only hit one homer with, so they're not a ton of power numbers, but the Quantrill start against the Nats, that shouldn't inspire really any confidence. I mean, the Nats are terrible. Now you could say the Tigers are almost as bad, and that would be fair. But and I don't want to, I don't want to sit here and have a double up or anything like that.
So what do you have on the game right now?
Look at that. So the Tigers are plus 115 at Bet 365 on the game, and just plus 100 on the first 5. Which means if we
I was going to say look at the first 5 possibly if you worry about the pen, right? So.
Well, I was thinking even the first 3. Now you have to pay extra vig for first 3s, but Dav Fan says Cabrera is not playing. If he's just a stick off the bench, whatever he is, that doesn't concern me. But let's pull up RotoWire anyways. Good call, Dav Fan. Let's pull it up here. And I hope you had a great birthday, Dav Fan. There's no Cabrera. I mean, he's not the same batter that he was. I think that I've got to decide between first 3 and first 5. And I do think that the vulnerability comes from Quantrill. But I don't want to pay vig. I'm going to take the first 5. I want at least some plus money. And I want to see what BetOnline has for the first 5, if it's better than the plus 100 that I'm dealing with here. Let me just move over to BetOnline quickly. And the first 5 on this one, same deal, plus 100. So I don't need to. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big 15-cent change.
Yeah.
There.
FanDuel's got DraftKings minus 105.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to take the Tigers first 5 right now. Tigers first 5, and I'm taking that over the first 3 because there's no vig. But I think this is a spot where, God, I don't want to be too invested in this game, but I feel like the market is telling us that.
Yeah, they're telling you that the Tigers are the play.
And that's Turnbull
with the total coming down. But is that more weather related or pitching related, do you think?
I think that there's a heavy weather relation to it, but RVD is going to go for both first 3 and first 5. I'm going to as well. I'm going to double up here. I'm going to double. I don't want to. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take first 3 and first 5 for the Tigers here. Are you going to add anything to this spot, Ragu?
No, I'm going to stay put. right
Okay,
now.
just before we get into the Giants Marlins spot here, Cup of Sun in the house. Great to see you, Cup of Sun, and our friend Lucas Ryan. I just it's one thing for me to write back and say something in the chat, but it should be said out loud here. And he's dealing with a great friend of his named Wolf, known as the Wolf. That sounds like a cool dude, man. Is losing a fight as we speak with cancer. He's a tremendous friend, a wonderful poker player, and truly a brother. I'm really sorry that you have to go through it, Lucas. And there's nothing anybody can say that will make it any better or easier to handle or anything. But just know that you're here. This is your other family, and that we support you. And if you're hurting ever, reach out to one of us. And I had to do the same thing when Tim and Puzzler died last summer, or very early fall. I had to reach out to low baggers here because I was hurting. So if you're hurting, we're here for you, and we'll be praying for your friend Wolf. All right, let's get back to work here. Next up for us, 1:10 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 5-11, 3-7 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 10-8, 7-5 at home. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Alex Cobb versus Trevor Rogers. There's certain when you look at cappers like Spanky and cappers that all they care about is beating the market, right? They beat the market, they beat it badly, and they go out for dinner. They don't need to watch the game. I have to watch the games. I watch all the games, and I have biases because I watch all the games, and they hurt me, man. They hurt me badly, and one of my biases is Alex Cobb. I remember when he was very good on the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's always affected me because I think that he's capable of that, and it's hurt me badly when he was an Oriole. It's been a little better since he left the Orioles. 0-1, 3.14 ERA, 1.47 whip, 14 Ks, 2 walks, 2 homers. Last start was ugly. 10-5 loss home to the Dodgers, 3 2/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs. He was lucky to only allow 2 earned runs. Trevor Rogers on the other side, and we already heard from Sharpie that they believe in that he believes in Trevor Rogers, and that Trevor Rogers was hurt last year, and that's why Rogers was so bad. Trevor Rogers 1 and 2, 4.20 ERA, 1.20 whip, 15 innings, 16 Ks, 5 walks, 2 homers. Last start was great. 1 earned run in 6 innings, 5-1 win at home versus Arizona. And now he's back home, so he's another home spot. I wonder if they're very, very live here, because the Giants don't hit lefties at all. 209, 555 OPS. Marlins versus righties 240, 682 OPS. Giants bullpen being bad, 5.82 ERA, 1.46 whip. They had to get into their bullpen deep because of the Alex Wood injury. I wonder if this is a very live ball club. Let's go over to the line history here. I'm going to have to make that Tigers bet while we're breaking down these games. And any 110 bets I'm going to have to make while we're doing it. And probably the 210 action too. So I won't move on any games so I can kind of bet them all at the same time here. But the Marlins open up minus 106, and that's where they are right now. No movement. So even though you could say the X's and O's are telling you that is a spot, the market's not moving towards them. There's been a 5-cent move to the under. So let's take a look at the cash flow then for us here. God, where the hell? Sorry about this. What can I find it? Here we go. Sorry. Okay, here's the cash flow for this spot. You have 68% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Giants. So that's, I guess, why the line isn't moving, because I don't think the X's and O's. I like Trevor Rogers in the start. Then you have 61% of tickets, but 51% cash on the under. So should I have confidence in the Marlins because all the bigger bets are coming in on the Giants and the market's not moving? I don't know. Take it away for us here, Doc. Giants, Marlins.
Yeah. Well, you look at the matchup for Rogers. I think he's faced Ruff 3 times, right? He's got 1 hit off him. And then Ramos, I think, is the other guy, correct? He took 2 for 2. No, okay. But anyways, nothing to really get nervous about there. I mean, I'm with you on that with the Marlins side. I kind of like it. I mean, they're a very low output team as far as runs go. They're like dead last in the league right now as they sit. But I think this is a good spot for them. I really do. It's amazing. They won like 6 out of the last 7 with that low run production. That shows you how strong their staff is, right? But and Cobb, he's had better days. I think this is a game where San Francisco, they got a 10-game homestand after this game here. So I think this is a get-out game for them more or less. And I think they're thinking about getting home. And not that they don't want to win the game, obviously, but I think this is a much better spot for Rodgers coming home. And then, maybe get them on a little bit of a cheap number here. I like them in the first 5 at a plus number, laying a half a run. So that's the look I like on the Marlins here. Even though they're not scoring a ton of runs, if they come out and win a game, like 2-1 or 3-0, something like that, and they get a run in the first 5 innings, I think Rodgers can hold them down here. I think it's a good look for him. So I'm going to be on the Marlins laying a half run plus 125. First 5.
Can get you that at plus 130 at BetCris, Bookmaker, and Heritage. So
I think we take advantage of the low run production that the Marlins have put up early on, and I think we squeeze out. We got a half run lead by 5, and I think we cash that ticket.
Yeah, I'm interested in that as well. But why would the big bets be coming in on the Giants that are 5-11? That that's gonna. It's look. I agree with everything from an X's and O's standpoint, but I'm gonna, and then the question I have with this plan that I did last year is, in this I stayed off these games last year, but you see 68% of the tickets, 77% of the cash. So big bets coming in on the Giants, and the market's not moving. Then should that give me confidence on the Marlins? And that's something I got to decipher, on my own time. But I'm just going to cheer for you on this one, Ragu. This makes perfect sense to me from an X's and O's standpoint. Okay. I'm
going to play the percentages on these. That's basically what I'm doing. So
I like it.
Even though the market may dictate a little differently with the bigger bets,
but it should give you confidence.
A lot of times that throws me off of games too. When I see that. But this particular spot, I like.
Morgan Smith talking about Rodgers' second home start in a row. It is something I like. Joe Yergin says Cobb is better than Rodgers. That's why, but pay no mind to that. Okay, I'm going to have to stay off of it. But let's also talk about our friend Cup of Sun. A Cup of Sun has been with us since I started, and it means so much. These OGs that stick with me just means so much. And Cup of Sun says, got in a motorcycle accident, can't use my left arm.
Oh, fuck.
And he says, I came right back here exactly because I'm hurting, man. And we love you, man. So and he moved on Tigers first 5. So let's get that. Let's get that cash. I'm gonna put that in myself. Cup of Sun says, when I look at the bet splits for Marlins game, I see 51-49. What? It just moved 65-64. But what site are you using? I'd be very curious. Or are you using like a FanDuel or DraftKings that just uses their action? I'd be very interested. But Cup of Sun, thanks for joining us, my man. Let's get paid today, man. Let's make some money. Okay, you're using VSiN. Surprised because I thought they. Okay, well, I'm surprised they would be different than action, but okay. Let's move on here. Next up, 1:15 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 11-7, 6-5 on the road. At St. Louis Cardinals, 7-11, 4-8 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We have Madison Bumgarner going up against Jake Woodford. So this was, the very first spot. When you start looking at the card, I'm sure you maybe already looked at tomorrow's card, or if you're going to look at it, right after the show, once you get your action in, where I was like, wow, I want Woodford. And now there's a big move towards Woodford. But, at 8:57 this morning, there had only been a 3-cent move towards St. Louis. I'm a little surprised that now there's a big 27-cent move towards Woodford. I was waiting for this. We know that this Cardinals team believes in Woodford as a young pitcher, and I thought that the poor start that he got off may be beneficial for us moving on him as we go forward. We talk about the consecutive starts at home. That's what he's dealing with. He just came off his first great start in the majors, 5 1/3, 7 hits, no earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and a 3-0 win at home versus Pittsburgh. Joe Yurkovich says can't fade the Arizona team, but you can fade Bum. That's true. Diamondbacks, Cards. Diamondbacks now 11-7, 6-5 on the road. Cardinals 7-11, 4-8 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We'll go over to the weather here first, and then figure out how we're going to move on this spot. Here we go. 76 Fahrenheit, 16.8 miles per hour out to left field. Gets up to 18.4 miles per hour. Wow. It is very, very offensive weather. So we've had this big move to the Cardinals. Let's take a look at the total. This total opened up at 9.5, and it's moved to 10. It did get up to 10.5. So it got up to 10.5. It was at 10.5 at 11:11 a.m., and then there's been a move to 11:32 a.m. even 11:41 a.m. Sorry, 11:43 a.m. So just 20 minutes ago, it's moved back to 10. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 81% of the tickets in cash on the Cardinals, line moving towards them. 86% of tickets and 99% of the cash on the over. Well, why did they bring it back to 10? That's very, very interesting here. Very, very, very interesting. So Bumgarner last start at Miami, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 1K, 1 walk. Now, Miami hits lefties this year for the first time in a while. But Bumgarner's been bad this year. Woodford coming off the great start. Diamondbacks are hitting 245, 696 OPS versus righties. Cards are hitting 308, 64 versus lefties. The Cards bullpen's better than the Diamondbacks. Hunter says way too much juice on the Cards, lean over, but also think Woodford could deal. Woodford throws a ton of ground balls. Take it away for us here, Doc. Bumgarner, Woodford, backs, Cards.
Yeah, a lot of starts versus these Cards he's had in his career. Bumgarner, I think he's like just a tad below 6 runs on average when he's faced these guys. Let me go look at something here. But anyways, I had a question. Was Arenado back in the lineup today for the Cardinals? Did we get a official
up right here? Arenado is batting 4th. Third base in between Goldschmidt and Contreras.
I know Goldschmidt has knocked the shit out of Bumgarner over his career too. So I don't see. Even though the D-backs have kind of, sneaky good road, been a sneaky good team this year overall. Like our chat was saying, Bumgarner would be a fade spot for me. Although he did have a good outing last out, I believe. So. But Woodford in his young career, he's I think he's beaten these. He's 2-0 against the D-backs. We don't understand in 4 starts, but it's only been 5 innings, I believe. Right? Is that correct? I believe he's had 5 innings work. So in that regard, not a real big sample size here. So I try to come up with an angle here. I looked at the weather a little bit. And it's a Big 10 spot too. You talk about 10, that's a lot of runs for an over, even though it indicates it should be up there. But I just don't trust the Cards bats at times. That's one of these teams I've been snake bitten my whole career with. I'm just not a big Cards backer, but last year they had some magic. This year they're still pretty decent. But Bumgarner, like I said, he's usually a fade spot. So. My luck, if I get involved with the Cardinals, he'll pitch a game of his fucking life and leave me hanging, on the other side. But I don't know. I just come up with a pass here. I just didn't. And I know the D-backs are trying to sweep this too, right? So that's going to be a tough ask for them too. So all my capping puts me on the Cards, but I don't want to lay them. Trying to figure out a way to play it, without getting involved with like a higher total and laying that big number with the Cardinals. So. I'm just going to pass on this one. I think the Cardinals are going to win the game, but I don't know how to play it, to be honest with you. The way I like to play it. So, D-back. Yeah. If you're a D-back fan, they've been playing pretty good. So, you just got to put up a Bumgarner here. So you see what happens.
Let's see what that first 5 team total over would be here over at Bet Online. First 5. Oh, 3.5, of course. Look, I know it's expensive. The Cards first 5 -1/2 is expensive. And I could have moved on this last night, but I was surprised that the market wasn't moving, and now it's moving heavily.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's if you missed it if you didn't play it last night, and usually I'm not a north better of like 160, even though you get positive EV and stuff like that with teams, but it just doesn't fit into my model, so it's a pass for me.
Well, honestly, I understand that it's expensive at -130, and I understand why Hunter doesn't want it.
Oh, it's only 130
for -0.5 first
Oh,
five.
for the first 5.
Yeah.
You know, that might not be a bad look. See now I'll get up into the 120s, 130s is probably like the high. I might even I was even thinking about a 140 earlier on something, but I passed on it. But 130s, I might do that. You know what?
Well, I can get it cheaper than. Wow, it's actually more expensive. I'm lucky to get the -130 at Bet365. Wow.
Yeah.
Joe Yurkovich says the first 3 -0.5. That's only -120. I was
First
shocked
3?
that that's only a 10-cent difference. Joe, that's the first thing I thought too was what's they're going to give you at least a -110. I cannot believe it's just -120. And I'm surprised. I'm going to check what Pinnacle is doing here, but I'm surprised that is best. Bet365 is the best line. Everywhere else is -135. I thought about that, Johnny Guns, on the first 5, but even that is not plus money. The -1 is like -103 or -104.
Yeah, what's the -1?
It's like plus. It's not even. I'll put it in right here, but I'll do it. You know what? Let's pull up Pinnacle because here, the first first 5. Move over here. First 5.
Because they're telling you there's going to be runs with that 10, right? It's just who's going to wind up with most of them, obviously. But I would have to say the D-backs, they come up a little bit short here. But
it's -102 is the first 5 -1. But
on the -1, 102, you know what? Let me do that. The worst I can do is I'll push if they get the W. So let me roll the dice with them. That's why I keep my juice down too at the same time. So I'll back them on the -1.
Well, let me just see if I can beat that at Pinnacle here. At Pinnacle, they're giving you the. Wow. I got to bet this immediately. This first 5 -0.5 is -140 at Pinnacle. I've never seen Bet365 give the best line. Okay, so Ragu, you're in. So you got the
talking
cards.
about it. We're going to raise it while you're talking about it.
I'm going to bet as soon as I can. Cards -1. -1 is -102. And that. Oh, wait. It's because. Oh, that's why. Sorry, I didn't realize the cards are also. Pinnacle's also not offering a -1.5. They are offering a -1 at -110. 8 cents worse. Wow. Yeah. Okay, I got to move on this here quickly. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 2:10 p.m. Eastern for us. Philadelphia Phillies at Chicago White Sox. Guaranteed rate field in Chicago, Illinois. Phillies 7-11, 4-8 on the road. White Sox 7-11, 3-5 at home. We'll start with the weather here. Get over here to the weather, and then we'll move on. 61 Fahrenheit, 11.8 miles an hour in. Gets between 11.8 and 10.8 all game. Gets up to 69 Fahrenheit, but it's cool. Let's take a look at the line history here for Walker Clevenger. We have Clevenger opening up. So this was another. So this was the second spot. When you look down, you're like, wow, I'd like to get on Clevenger. He seems to be locked in with the horrible offseason he has. Seems to be pretty focused on pitching right now. But there's been a move towards the Phillies. They opened up -108. They're now -112. And from a total perspective, it started at 9 and it's dropped to 8.5, which you could say is just basically weather related. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. God, I got too many things open. Here we go. The cash flow here for this one. We have 46% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Phillies. So it's somebody likes what they're seeing over there. Then you have 50% of tickets and 94% of the cash on the under. So Taijuan Walker coming off a nice start at the Reds. Maybe he's about to start stringing them together. He had a bit of a tough start to the year. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 2 walks, 8-3 win at the Reds. Clevenger coming off beautiful start at home versus the Orioles. 6 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 5 Ks, 5 walks. So still 5 walks. But the Phillies are raking righties, 289, 806. And the White Sox can hit righties, 255, 702. And both bullpens are absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. Phillies bullpen 6.30 ERA, 1.71 whip. White Sox bullpen 7.04 ERA, 1.89 whip. Take it away for us here, Ragu. Phillies, White Sox.
Yeah, I like both these pitchers actually. I like Walker. I've seen the Phillies like 4 times in spring training. So I was telling guys that their bats are really, really good. I mean, they started out a little slow, but the thing with the Phils, what they've been doing is when they've been losing, they've been bouncing back. So like alternating wins of late, especially. And when they've done it like by margin. Like they've always, they've won deep, big runs, So I think it's another one of them spots for them here. I'm going to follow. I'm going to play this on the trend with them to what they've been doing, because I think Walker, like you said, his first start was a little roughed up, and Clevenger, he's nice. He's 2-0 with 2.2 ERA, but and they split the doubleheader yesterday, correct? So, and the price is cheap here. The price is, you basically a pick 'em game, right? What do you got for the numbers now? What did you say the numbers were on the money line?
A slight move towards the Phillies. The Phillies money line's minus 112.
112. Okay, so basically a pick 'em. But I like the run line here. I like Philly on the run line because I think their bats will come up. I think Clevenger, even though he's nice, I think he could be touched. So, and then the bullpen questions, yeah, both these teams will give it up in the bullpen, but I think Philly's got the better bats and more consistent bats, especially on the bounce back spot here. So I like the Phils on the run line. I got plus 146. Can you beat that?
Let's try Phillies minus 1.5 for Ragu. Let's go over to full game run line here, and we have. Oh yeah, we can get up to. That's not a real book. So plus 142. Can we beat plus 142? Yes, plus 143, plus 147 at Heritage.
Okay.
All right, Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 147. You are locked in. So you have some concern that Clevenger could get touched. Do you agree with this market move from 8.5 to 8? Do you think it's mainly just weather related?
Yeah, I think that was weather related.
I wouldn't mind just taking a look at that first 5 because I think that both pitchers are capable of pitching well here. Let me go to totals. So we know that there's been a move to the under full game. First half, not as much. Not as much. It's funny. So let's see what I would get on this first 5 under here if I wanted to mess with it in the Phillies game. First 5 under 4.5 minus 115. I find that appealing here. Before I move on it, let's just do the under 4.5. Do the due diligence here and take a look at batter versus pitcher. God, there's too many things up here. Here we go. Sorry, this will just take 1 second. Let's get this up so I know if I find it interesting that the full game under would be moving and the first 5 wouldn't. And I guess part of that is that the first 5 opened up lower, obviously, than the full game, 4.5 to 9. And then so the full game moves to 8.5, but this stays at 4.5. Let's just, oh God, sorry, that's the wrong one. Get this up here. Go. Sorry. And here we go. Phillies, White Sox matchups against Walker. Grandal hits them, but who cares? And against Clevenger, Turner hits them, but not with power. Okay, I like it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to move on the under. Noli says if you're betting with weather conditions in mind, full game is the way to go. I feel that. Let me get this in. I just don't trust the bullpens enough. But and the fact that moved to 9.5, this one hasn't moved. I'm pretty comfortable with this spot here. So we have our first game popping off here shortly. Remember, Ragu has moved on something that was available at DraftKings. He moved on 3 up, 3 down when the Reds get up there. So that
if he walks somebody, I'm screwed, right?
Right. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Texas Rangers 11-6, 5-3 on the road. The Kansas City Royals 4-14, 1-11 at home, 1-11 at Kauffman Stadium. Ugly. Let's take a look at the weather here at Kauffman. 76 Fahrenheit, 19.5 miles per hour out to left center. Wow. 19.5 stays between 19.5 and 19.3. Very windy conditions for Martin Perez and Brady Singer. Singer coming off that atrocious start. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one, this Royals game. God, the Royals have been bad this year. Here we go. The Royals open up -104. They're now -113, a 9-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 9. It's now at 9.5. When we take a look at the cash flow here for this one, we have 23% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the Royals. Then 73% tickets, 64% cash on the over. That's funny because Royals are not touching lefties at all. 185, 583 OPS. DC Capper agrees with this spot. Mike M says KC stinks. Martin Perez has to be the look. First half and full game double up. Perez is being great this year. 2-1, 2.87 ERA, 1.60 WHIP, 16 Ks and 15 2/3. Last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, 4 walks, 6-2 win at the Astros. That was really, really impressive. That start against the Astros. Brady Singer got off to an okay start and then got absolutely destroyed last out. 5 innings, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 4 homers. It was horrific. The Rangers hitting 249, 755 OPS versus righties. Rangers bullpen's been excellent this year. 2.85 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Royals bullpen 6.45 ERA, 1.48 WHIP. Take it away for us here, Doc. Rangers, Royals.
Yeah, this was a head scratcher. I figured when I first looked at it, I said Perez is going to be a decent favorite here. But then when I looked at Singer's getting the money, it's just like, what the hell is really going on with this game? Then I go back and look, and Texas and Texas is looking for a sweep in this spot too. So I know that Perez is 0-2 last time he faced. Singer's 0-2 when he's faced them at home the last 2 times out. So I was trying to put 2 and 2 together with this game here, and I was coming up for a loss. Just watching the market and seeing the total. On this particular spot here, I mean, it would almost have to be a Perez at a bargain, I would think. Because his last out, he looked good against Houston. And KC's being abysmal at home. And then the number kind of threw me off of the game, to be honest with you. I thought Texas should have been a lot more of a bigger favorite in this spot, but then I seen some of the market move and whatnot. So I just respected the market on this one. So this is going to be a pass for me.
Yeah.
Texas and O's wise, I give the lean. I give a strong lean to Texas, but 11-6 versus 4-14, and like you said, KC's record at home, and Singer, losing the last 2 at home to these same Texas Rangers doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I agree with you that, I think Noli's right. And shout out to the great Noli Knows, says, feel like the books always have Perez as a dog. They don't respect him. But, and look at Piker. He's got the babysitter foot job play of the day here. And that foot job play of the day is the Rangers. Look, I can't do it. This is very confusing here. It is telling me though, with just a half-run move to the over with these crazy wind conditions, that the pitchers probably handle this okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
I wonder if Noli's on Martin Perez first 5. I wonder if it's worth a first 500 here if you trust. It isn't it. Look, I hate the wind here, but isn't it kind of screaming that Singer's going to bounce back? That's
the way it looks. All the signs indicate that. That's what I'm
crazy. Look at this total. This total is 9.5 for the game. It's 4.5 first 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Andre says Ryan over 5Ks. Do you like that today? Andre, the man that needs to be asked that is Sharpie. It's the amount of work he puts into the K props is the reason why he's succeeding, and it's not responsible for me to tell you what I think of Joe Ryan's at 5Ks right now. And look, Hunter Engelhardt says I have the first under in his min bet parlay, and DC Capper in the Royals here. All right. North Ender says, I trust the market fully. I don't care about an L here or there. I win long term. Yeah, no, I get that. All right. So that is all the games before 2:10. So I've got my action in now. So Tigers first 3 -110. Tigers first 5 +100. Cardinals first 5 -0.5 -130. And Philadelphia, Chicago White Sox first 5 under 4.5. And I'm all locked in. So over for the Big Ragoo for all the games starting before 2:10 p.m. He's on the game that starts in 10 minutes. He's on the Reds under 3.5 batters in the first inning at plus 140. Ragu is on the Marlins first 5 minus a half at plus 130. He's on the Cards first 5 minus 1 at minus 102. And he's on the Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 147. We talked about his performance of last year, and he had a plus 104 average line. And, Hunter Engelhart, who, a spectacular capper in our chat, also will be, on screen here, capping baseball with us. He doesn't make a bet on anything worse than minus 105. So Joe Yurkovich says the old nose tells me the Royals get this one. And there's Sharpie right now. Perfect timing. So, if you have, and then there he is, says, Andre, if you think it's a trap, run. So, it's interesting. And look, Sharpie snuffed out Lodolo beautifully yesterday. Okay, so those are the games starting 2:10 p.m. Let's move on to 3:10 and after. And my action is in. Don't need to worry. I can relax a little bit, and let's make some money. 3:10 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets 11-7, 7-5 on the road to LA Dodgers 99, 6-5 home. Talk about snuffing out Lodolo. Didn't Sharpie nail the performance from Clayton Kershaw last night? He was just completely on. Like, he was just on. What can you say about him? And I wonder if Maximus Scherzer is going to replicate that performance here, because he's a character guy who I faded the first 2 starts of the year and was rewarded. Last start, he looked very good in a home win over the Padres. And now we just watched Kershaw put together a masterpiece for his 200th win. And it was a masterpiece. Like, it's as good as he looks ever. He just looked so confident, strong on that. Going up against Noah Syndergaard, who shouldn't be trusted, but at home, he seems to look pretty good at home thus far in the small sample size. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 9 Ks, 2 walks, and 8-2 loss at home to the Cubs last out. So let's take a look at the line history and what we are dealing with and the weather. Early start on the West Coast for them, 3:10 p.m. for us. We'll start with the weather here in LA. 68 Fahrenheit, 7.3 miles per hour out to right center. Goes up to 11.6 miles per hour, from 7.3 to 11.6. And let's move on. Next up let's hear. Sharpie says, Scherzer velocity and spin rate has been up and down. So I wanted to take his K-prop. I had to let it go. And Kershaw versus teams who don't strike out to lefties strikes out a whole lot to the future Hall of Famer. Kershaw was spectacular. So Scherzer, what was Scherzer's velocity in that last start? Again, I can look this up myself, but it would help speed everything up if I didn't. Scherzer's velocity in that last start against the Padres, Sharpie, was it strong enough? Okay, so we start with the weather here. As I said, 7.3 miles per hour out, but 11.6 by the end of the game. So it just gets more and more windy in the pitcher's ballpark. Let's take a look at the line history here for this Dodgers-Mets spot. This opens up with the Dodgers at plus 110. Now they're at plus 108. So a 2-cent move to the Dodgers. Totals-wise, open up at 8.5 minus 106. There's been a 12-cent move to the over. And it got to 9. Wow. So it got to 9 for a second. Now, the 9 was 108 to the over and minus 121 to the under. So it got to 9, and it lasted there for 3 minutes until Pinnacle brought it back to 8.5. Then let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. We have 78% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Mets. And we have a 2-cent move to the Dodgers. Oh, that's fishy. All right. Then 61% tickets, 69% cash on the over. But we saw what happened when it moved to 9. It moved immediately back to 8.5. Oh, I know it's not Maximus, Dan Kelly. It's just my mom tried to name me Max, and my dad wouldn't let her. And so my older brother called me Maximus my whole life. So I just, I always call anybody named Max, I call Maximus. So Mets first righties, 212, 694 OPS. Dodgers first righties, 248, 813 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.44, ERA 1.27 whip. Dodgers bullpen, 4.79 ERA, 1.49 whip. Take it away for us here, Doc. Mets, Dodgers. This is a fascinating cap. Scherzer, Syndergaard.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, a lot of familiarity in different spots now. You know what I mean? So these guys one pitching against his old team, one pitching, he's pitched a ton here and there. Just a lot of interesting looks on this particular spot here. So the Mets, what the Mets are really good at is getting on base with walks. But Syndergaard doesn't walk a lot of guys. I think he's got like 2 walks. I'm going to lean on Sharpie for this spot here too. I'm going to see what he has to say about it. But anyways, the Mets. Noah doesn't. His velo's down a little bit, but he doesn't walk a lot. I think in 16 innings work, he's got like 2 walks. So the Mets, like I said, they're really good. But what you can do on Noah is steal. But the Mets are going to have to get on base to make that. He's like the worst in the league once you get runners on base, to advance to second. So the Mets going to have to get on here. And as far as Max goes, like he said, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. You either get what you get with Max, like he had that blow up game, where he gave up all the home runs. I think that was more of an aberration than anything. But it's a real interesting cap here. You don't see too often where the Dodgers are getting plus money, and I kind of wanted to figure a way to bet that too. I figured there'd be some value in the Dodgers, with their staff and and that has the Dodgers bullpen. They're ranked pretty good, aren't they? Are there like a top 5 bullpen, the Dodgers, where the Mets bullpen is like trash almost?
No, the Dodgers bullpen's been poor thus far.
They've been poor this year. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very rare. We haven't seen this in a few years.
I was looking at the bullpens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yep. They're down there. But anyways, Well, I think EV Analytics had them like in the top 4. That's why I was looking at it.
It's interesting you say that because Pete thinks this is a much better bullpen than the numbers are telling us. So
okay.
4.79
4.03. I mean, the numbers are not great, but they're ranked 4, so that's what I was looking at. But anyways, so what I was trying to figure out, and I know Sharpie's our resident expert on the K props here, and this is something I don't normally do, is lay higher juice. But if you go back and look at Noah's numbers, he's averaging like 1K per 9 or 1K per inning, 9 per game. And I think we're going to get some distance out of him here. And his K prop is like 3.5. And I know, like I said, I know the Mets are good at drawing walks, and Syndergaard doesn't throw a lot of walks. But I think that's probably the most solid play that I came up with was getting involved in the K prop for Syndergaard over 3.5. But I've got minus 135, which is pretty juicy for what I like to do. But I think it's a great bet. I think he gets 4Ks easily in this game. I like that. I think he gets, 6 or 7 innings, possibly, probably 5 at the minimum, and at 1 per inning, that puts him right about 5Ks in my book. So I'm gonna put that official. I'm gonna make Noah Syndergaard 3.5Ks at minus 135.
Yeah.
What Sharpie think about that?
Noah over. All right, let's move that. Let's get that up here for you. So every single person in the chat thus far has said the Mets.
Yeah.
We have 78% of the tickets and 85% of the cash on the Mets. The market has moved 2 cents to the Dodgers. I'm going to be on the Dodgers today. I can't double up on it. So I can't do a first 5 full game. The Mets are only hitting 212, 694 OPS versus righties. Johnny Gunn's moving on the Dodgers, and Mike M looking at the Dodgers, and I'm going to do the same. Sharpie says Big Ragoo knows his shit with K-props. I only bet my guys, and he's not one of my guys. But I've watched what you've been doing, and you hit at a great rate.
So basically, the Twins, somebody was putting in chat that the Mets are least strikeout team. No, I don't think that's true. Oh, with the most strikeouts, excuse me. I take that back. Yeah, so.
Wow. I'm getting plus 115, 10 cents better over here. So
for my K prop?
No, sorry. This is for I'm only thinking about myself now.
Okay.
I apologize. This is for the Dodgers full game plus 115. I'm betting it right now.
Yeah. I'd say you don't see that often, where the Dodgers are getting plus money.
All right, I'm in.
What are they the first 5 on that? with the run line. I mean, with the Dodgers.
First 5, they're plus 125 here
Yeah,
at
plus-
BetOnline. I might
yeah.
be able to find better, but
Yeah, give me that. I'll take that too.
okay, let me just bet this here. So I'm in at BetOnline. Oh Jesus, they just changed to plus 114. Fucking dicks, man. All right, let me try and bet this again. Plus 114, place bet. All right, I'm in. All right, so we've got action. Full game plus 114 on the Dodgers for me. And then let's get so that's plus 114. That one is BetOnline. Okay. So let's take a look at the possibility for your first 5. Let's see if we can get a better number than plus 125 that's being offered at BetOnline for the first 5. You've already moved on the K prop. For the first 5, we can get you, wow, plus 130 over at Bookmaker and BetChris.
Yeah, that'll even out my 135, right?
It will. Okay, so I'm Dodgers plus 114 full game, and Ragu, you are at Thor over 3.5 Ks minus 135, and you're on the Dodgers first 5 at plus 130. All right, we are in business. DC Capper is on the over at that point. Is on the over in this spot. Okay, that's exciting. It's exciting. All right, let's move on. Next up for us, 3:10 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 11-7, 8-4 on the road at the Colorado Rockies. 5-13, 3-6 at home. We're at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Johan Oviedo going up against the lefty Austin Gomber. Oviedo coming off that 3-0 loss to the Cards, but man, was he good up against his former team. And Noli expected him to be good, and man, was he ever, Noli. He was very, very good. Pirates, Rockies. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Rockies open up at plus 101. They're now plus 109. So 8-cent move against them. A 9-cent move on the Pirates, 109 to 118. And let's take a look. So a move towards the Pirates and a move to the under from 11.5 to 11. 11.5 to 11. Let's take a look at the weather. I should have started with that and the cash flow. Weather-wise, 59 Fahrenheit, 11 miles out to right center. Gets up to 17.5 miles per hour, but it stops being out to right field. It starts being left to right, maybe to the right field pole, but left to right. So it gets heavier wind, but it's not blowing out. It's already 1-0 Rays. Diaz cashing immediately. Wow. Okay. Let's move over to the cash flow for this spot. Pirates, Rockies. So 88% of the tickets, 82% of the cash is on the Pirates. The market's moving towards the Pirates. Then we have 22% of tickets on the under, but 36% of the cash, and it's moved to half run. Very, very interesting. So Oviedo coming off that great start. Gomber coming off an ugly start at the Mariners. 3 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 2 Ks, 4 walks. Pirates rating 252, 729 versus lefties. Much better than they're hitting righties. Rockies hitting 256 against righties, but with no power. Pirates have a better bullpen. Well, they're both kind of mediocre, but Pirates are a little better bullpen thus far. This one is interesting. It's screaming Pirates to us. And the under, but can we trust the Pirates? They're 8-4 on the road. Take it away, Doc. Coors Field, Pirates, Rockies.
Yeah, that as nice as the I think the Pirates are a little bit overachievers right now. I mean, they're coming up with a team that's lost 7 straight, and they're going to be an exciting team to watch. You know, just they're believing what they're doing. You know, but they're playing. You know, they're playing pretty. Right now, they're playing pretty good baseball. You can't take that away from them. You know, they're 3 out of 4. The last 4, I think they went out and beat Houston, right? Then they had a game against Cardinals they won. So, you know, they're hitting pretty well, you know. So, but then when I seen it, do I really want to back the Pirates as a favorite? And then I even peeled it back a little further. I'm saying, well, what are these Pirates doing on offense? You know, they're hitting the ball really well. They are. Right now they're hitting the ball really well. And I think early on they had a couple 1-run wins, you know, in the games that they've won. and then it was early on in the season. Then they beat. I think they beat the White Sox 1-0, and then their last 5 W's have all been by big numbers, crooked numbers. So, and I'm a guy that highly believes in streaks. Don't bet a streak to stop. Bet a streak to keep going. So, I got a streak on the Rockies that are losing. I got a team that's winning, by margin when they win the last 5 wins that they've had. So, let's roll with that streak here. I'm going to take the Pirates on the run line.
I get it. Ragu is on the Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, I took a little pause, laying wood with the Pirates on the road, but I say it's a game of streaks, so I'm going to play into that streak a little bit. I usually don't like to. I like to bet into streaks like after it's about three games. I start looking 3-4 games at the max, but I don't want to get the tail end of a streak that ends. But then again, we just need one more here, and I think we'll get a nice plus number on that too.
Let's get it for you here. God, they're expensive first 5. Damn. I have to take a -0.5 if I want the Pirates first 5. But let's go to your full game. I mean,
what is the -0.5 for first 5, Jimmy?
I'm going to check that out here in a second, but let's get you your for full game run line for the Pirates. A plus 122 plus 125 over at 5 times. Let's check some other books here. We have yes, plus 125 is the best we can get you on the run line. So Pirates -1.5 plus 125, and then -0.5 here. First 5 -0.5 for the Pirates is plus 101. Looks like the best. Let me just move over here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's lay the first 5 with the Pirates.
Do you want both or just the first?
No, 5? just give me give me both. I'm going to double up in this spot. I'm going to take the Pirates -0.5, and I'm going to take them full game.
Okay, I will be joining you on Pirates first 5. All right, I like it, and I like Johan Oviedo. As Cuban kid can throw, man. All right, we move on. Next up for us, 3:37 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs 10-6, 5-2 on the road to Oakland Athletics 3-15, 2-9 at home. We're Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's get over to the weather here and get rolling. In Oakland, 56 Fahrenheit, 9.2 miles per hour out to right field, gets up to 10 miles per hour. Get over to the line history here in this one. We have Steele versus Mason Miller. Cubs open up -169. They're now -156. It's a 13-cent move towards the Oakland A's. Totals wise, it's opened up at 8 and it's dropped to 7.5. Let's see if the cash is also believing that Mason Miller is going to throw nice today. Wow, 29% of the tickets, 47% of the cash on the A's. 60% of tickets, 94% cash on the under. Let's talk about the 3rd round pick out of Gardner Webb in the 2021 draft. Here we go. Let's talk about Mason Miller. So the big story about Mason Miller is how could he possibly be here if he's only throwing 20 minor league innings coming into this year? He is 6'5", but 150 pounds. He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes while throwing Division III and completely changed his diet. And I don't see how he could be 150 pounds. Let me just double check. I think this got to be wrong. Already 2-0 for the Rays. God, it's just stupid. Just leaving money on the table here. How could he be? I thought he was like a big guy. I think that's got to be a misprint, the 150 pounds. Let me just pull him up here and see what they say is. Yeah, 200 pounds. I guess maybe he was 150 pounds. Then he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. I think that's what they're trying to say. So all of a sudden, he gains all this weight, gets his velocity from 96 to 99, and gets drafted in the 3rd round. So he has thrown a few triple-digit pitches this year. In 2022, he started throwing triple digits, and he was in the Arizona Fall League. Then this year he starts in Double-A, gets 8 strikeouts in 3 2/3, gets promoted to Triple-A. Then he strikes out 11 in 5 innings with no hits and no walks. And that, that's in Las Vegas. And we know what the ball does in Las Vegas. Maybe not as bad at this time of year. So here he is. He has 28 and 2/3 minor league innings under his belt. He can hit 100 with his fastball. He can get a low 90s changeup. 16.6 strikeouts per 9 in the minors with just 1.9 walks per 9. That is Mason Miller, now 4-0 race. Jesus, I just want to, let that go. Don't smash anything. Okay. So that's Mason Miller. Justin Steele's looked spectacular thus far this year. 2-0, 1.42 ERA, 0.84 whip. His last start, 8-2 win against the Dodgers. He looked awesome. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, solo shots, 8 Ks, 1 walk. Cubs are hitting 274, 765 versus righties. The A's are actually hitting lefties okay. 266, 697 OPS, much better than they're hitting righties. Cubs bullpen's been really strong to start the year. 3.86 ERA, 1.17 whip. A's bullpen's been atrocious. 6.01 ERA, 1.57 whip. Take it away for us here, Ragu. Cubs, A's.
Yeah, you always have the unknown, like I said earlier, with the call-ups and the minor leaguers coming up. So I try to read the market a lot, and then, whatever research we do when we look at these kids and, what kind of stuff do they have. And he's got pretty decent stuff overall. And I think that the market's kind of indicating that, with the total moving and the line moving towards the A's favor, with the money side of things. Like you say, I think there's more bets on the Cubs, but it looks like the bigger bets on the A's is from what I see over here. But anyways, I was trying to get the matchup for Steele versus the A's, because the A's bats, you're all right. They do hit the lefties a little bit better, but overall, their run production is way down. So, and then that kind of plays into the total anyways. But I didn't come up with anything that I felt comfortable with getting to the window on this particular spot here. So this game is going to be a total pass for me.
Yeah, I agree with the pass here. Obviously, this market seems to be pretty interested in Mason Miller, but it feels like Justin Steele's being completely undervalued to start the year.
Yeah, I mean 2-0, right? So I mean that's why I tried to figure out a way for to get involved with Steele versus the A's lineup somehow, but I didn't want to get any of the prop markets on this particular spot with Steele either. So I just said I'll just pass. So move on to the next one.
Troy saying any similarities between Stout and Miller? None. We just said Miller 16.9 Ks per 9, 1.6 walks or something like that. And remember the issue we had with Stout that we were talking about. And I just can't believe I was just so thick-headed last night. I was dealing with some, my daughter had a tough night, and how did I not see this? But we talked about Stout. So Stout in AAA Louisville last year, 15 Ks, 10 walks. In AAA Louisville this year in 3 starts, 10 Ks, 9 walks.
Yeah.
So no. Okay. So. Oh, okay. No worries, Troy. It's all good. But yeah. So no. But I agree with letting this one go. I don't want to go up against the market here. Hunter Engelhardt says Cubs are hitting pretty good against power stuff, so that's why he's on them. I get it. Rick J says Stout, a finesse pitcher. Miller throws like Nolan Ryan. Okay, so no action for us in Cubs A's, and Johnny K cashed the Rays team total over in the first inning. And Joe Yeager says if you want the Cubs, take them full game for the bullpen advantage. Okay, next up for us, 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Milwaukee Brewers 13-5, 8-4 on the road. At Seattle Mariners 8-10, 5-7 at home at T-Mobile Park. Seattle, Washington. We have Eric Lauer going up against Marco Gonzalez, 2 lefties on the bump. Let's go to the line history. We know the roof will be closed, so let's go over to the line. Well, I shouldn't say we know the roof is going to be closed. I guess I should look at the weather. They don't open it up this time of year. Yeah, it's freezing cold, 46 Fahrenheit. Okay, so let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Seattle opening up -118, 12-cent move towards them to -130. From a totals perspective, this opened up at 8, -105 to the over. It's moved 5 cents to the over. So a 12-cent move to Seattle, a 5-cent move to the over. Let's see if that makes sense when we take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 57% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners. That's a lot of big bets on the Mariners. A lot of them. 58% of tickets, 72% cash on the over. So at least where the money is correlating with where the market is going. Lauer, 2-1, 5.28 ERA, 1.57 whip. I had a nice start last out at the Padres. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. It was solo shot, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Marco Gonzalez coming off a nice start at Cleveland. But he missed his last start because he was on paternity leave. He had a son. Or I don't know if he had a son, but he had a child. So he had a child. He's back. So he missed his start because, he had a baby. 4.22 ERA, 1.59 whip. What does that mean getting out of your rhythm, I wonder, for him? Neither team's hitting lefties right now. Brewers 215, 630 OPS. And then Mariners 203, 639 OPS. Brewers bullpen being good, 2.05 ERA, 1.19 whip. But there is an expectation from Pete and from others and from Sharpie as well, who said that I think it was Sharpie who was saying that the relievers have not thrown very many innings. Might not be Sharpie, but somebody. So there's a belief that there's going to be regression from the Brewers bullpen, negative. And the Mariners bullpen has looked okay this year, 3.18 ERA, 1.37 whip. Take it away for us here, Doc. Brewers, Mariners.
Yeah. So, with the Gonzalez, I think last time he had a kid, he won a bunch of games. He went on some kind of crazy streak when he came back from paternity leave last time. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I looked at this game and I lean the first 5 under here in this spot. This is a spot that I think could be a good opportunity for Gonzalez coming back. Like I say, he's maybe a little bit elated, and Lauer, he's very serviceable. And I think the market move shows leaning towards the under. So I was just kind of like following the market on this spot here. I didn't make this one an official play for me, but I kind of leaned first 5 under in this spot here. I think it bodes well for both these lineups and both these pitchers, to keep the run production down early, and the market's telling me that too. So I had just a lean on the under in this spot here. Nothing crazy. No particular reason. Just more of a market movement. I think the matchups for the lineups here, kind of put me towards that way. So I lean under first 5 in this spot.
I can understand that. The market moving towards the over makes me a little nervous. And then the market being all over Marco Gonzalez getting out of his routine surprises me and makes me uncomfortable. So I'm going to be off of this game as well.
Yeah.
Let's move on. How many games do we have left? We have 3, 4, 5. Okay, I got to send a message to Darryl. But we're fine. No rush. We're good.
Okay.
5 games left. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Next up, look at Markel on the 3.5. Nice job, Markel. Smart. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 14-4, 10-1 on the road at San Diego Padres 8-11, 4-8 at home at Petco Park, San Diego, California. Take a look at the weather in San Diego. We have 63 Fahrenheit, 8.3 miles per hour left to right. By the last hour of the game, it's slightly in. It's actually slightly in an hour in, but a little more 2 hours in. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Morton versus Martinez, 2 vulnerable pitchers. The Braves open up -114. They're now -118. There had been no move towards them. In fact, there'd been a move in the other direction. At 11:30 a.m., the Braves were -108. So we've had a 10-cent move on the Braves since 11:30 a.m. From a total side of things, this opened up at 9, a -106 to the under. It's now -114 to the under. So we have an 8-cent move to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 15% of the tickets, but 38% of the cash on the Padres. So 85% of the tickets, but only 62% of the cash on the Braves. Then 65% of the tickets and 74% of cash on the under. So market expecting these pitchers to pitch okay. They both are coming off decent starts. Morton's actually had a pretty good year. His whip is high, allowed 7 walks and allowed hits, but 3.86 ERA, 2-1, and he's not striking out as many batters as usual. Has allowed just 1 home run in the 16th and the 3rd. Last start, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, just 2 of which were in 5 Ks, 2 walks, and 10-3 win at the Royals. Nick Martinez coming off a 4-3 extra inning loss at home to the Brewers. It was a really bad weather for offense in that game. That was a game we went against Colin Ray, and it was 4-3 in extra innings. Even with it, wind blowing in, cold, he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, still allowed 2 homers, 2 Ks. I don't trust him at all. I really don't. Braves versus righties, 257, 84 OPS. Padres aren't hitting, 219, 696 OPS. Braves bullpen 2.79 ERA, 1 WHIP, much better than the Padres bullpen to start the year. 4.05 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Luchase Fox says Braves again. Mike M says I like the Braves and the under here, and Joe Yurkovich says just locked in the Braves. Lineup for the Braves is out. There's Sun Dizzle in the house. I don't mind wearing your Boston hats when your team sucks. Take it away for us, Doc. Braves, Padres.
Yeah, so the Braves are trying to get out with a 6-0 road trip here. Is this a getaway game for the Braves, to get back to Atlanta or just to move out to the next venue? I don't think there's a lot of trust in Morton's, even though, this matchup should bode well for Atlanta. Just there's a big market move on the Pods coming back. So that's a little concerning here. So, but I was trying to figure out on the Braves lineup to kind of, hit up Martinez a little bit. But I think I trust that lineup, to kind of get some production. But first I was thinking run line Braves, because the struggles that the Padres are having with the bats right now. It's like teams are going different directions. They're looking for answers right now. I think they get better when they get Tatis back in the lineup, though. I think that'll give them the spark that they're wanting, kind of like they did last year when they made the trade. But they need to figure things out. They're a lot better quality club than what's going on with them right now. So, when did they make that switch? So, I think today the Braves are going to be the play, though. As far as in the first 5, I like the Braves to get a run total in the first 5. So that's what I want to look at. Can you look up the run total for the Braves in the first 5 innings?
Yeah, we'll get you the.
I think full game they're sitting at 4.5. So, this could be a game where they get out of town and win like 3-2 or 4-2, something like that, and the game stays under, and they still get the win. But I don't trust the margin win here as far as the run line goes.
I got the first 5 team total at Pinnacle over 2.5 at plus 108.
Plus 108. Okay.
I'll see what bet.
What's the first 5? What's the first five game total for the game?
5.
5
at plus 102 to the over minus 170.
I'll take that. I'll lean with the under here. I'll take first 5 under 5
at minus 117. Let me just quickly line shop and see if I can get you better than that. Let's go here. Oh shoot, that's wrong thing. Sorry. Move over here. Get you. So first 5. Ragu's looking at first 5 under, and the first 5 under here is wow. Pinnacle's the only book offering the 5. All the other books are 4.5. You could obviously find it under 5 minus 117. If I wanted that, I would have to build it. I imagine at Bet365. Let me just quickly check here if I would have to build this in this one. This is I would have to build it. Oh my gosh, the under 4.5 is just minus 105 at Bet365, but you're getting the under 5 at minus 117 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, you got it. So Ragu is in. Ragu first 5 under 5 minus 117. This one is I can't trust these pitchers, but I really don't trust Nick Martinez at all. But maybe a couple of home starts. Obviously the Padres believe in him. Okay,
let me get the Braves minus the first 5 too, minus a half run.
Braves first 5 minus a half.
I just think the bats for the Padres. If they wake up, they beat me. What the hell can I say? But the way they've been hitting lately, I got to go against them.
First 5 minus a half. We can find a plus 115.
Okay.
See if I can beat that here anywhere else. No, plus 115. All right.
That'll work. That dog will hunt.
Braves first 5 minus a half at plus 115. Okay. And the Reds just walked.
They walked somebody. You fucking bastard.
Ragu first 5 under 5 minus 117, and Braves first 5 minus a half at plus 115. All right, we have 4 games left before we get into NBA with It'sDerl, who's coming off sweeping the board. That's all the 4:10 p.m. games. Now we have night action. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Los Angeles Angels 9-8, 6-5 on the road at the New York Yankees. 10-7, 6-5 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We'll get to the weather here. Sorry, just a second. I got my daughter trying to come in. Just a sec, Ella. Just wait 1 second here. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We have opening up at 61 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour out to right center, but dies down to 5.4 miles per hour. Go over to the line history here for this one. Angels, Yankees, Canning versus Brito. We have the Yankees opening up at -129. They're now -124, so a 5-cent move to the Angels. Totals wise, it's opened up at 9, -107 to the over. There's been a 7-cent move to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 72% of the tickets on the Yankees, but just 50% of the cash, and the market moving towards the Angels. Totals wise, 44% of the tickets and 63% of cash are on the under. So an expectation of these pitchers pitching better. Brito had a great start to the year and then got completely lit up last start at home to the Twins. 2 1/3, 6 hits, 7 earned runs. Looked awful. Griffin Canning coming off his first start in a long time, and he looked decent. 3-2 win. Our guy Wine Time Sports was at the game with his boys. He was on the full game under. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, no walks. Angels rating just 226, 675 versus righties. Yankees 240, 748, and both bullpens have been very good this year. Joe Yurkovich liking the under here. Take it away for us, Doc. Angels and your New York Yankees.
Yeah, so I agree. I agree with the underlook here. I think we see a solid effort from Brito. A little shaky to start off, but he's going to work his way through that middle spot. In the rotation, I think he's going to be he's young. He's got a decent arm. He's got decent stuff. And Canning, I think he's very serviceable here too. I don't want to say that there's going to be a lot of runs scored, because I doubt there will be. But I just hate equating, like, same thing I do with the Dodgers. I hate putting Yankees in under spots, and hoping that we get a pitching duel that we normally get. But so I think this particular spot here bodes well for both pitchers. Now, something about Ohtani, I was going to look at maybe play a prop for him, because something about putting a Japanese player in Yankee Stadium, they always perform really well over the years. And Ohtani, I think he had a homer yesterday, so he's having fun playing in New York, and they're showcasing the probably 2 best players in the league with Judge and him. So I think today we get more of a pitcher's duel, maybe more of a different type of setup in the lineup. So give me the under here. I'm going to be on the full game under 9 for this spot.
Ragu on the under 9 here. This makes me. I don't know what either pitcher is really going to do. I don't have faith.
Well, I don't think they're going to keep them out. I think they're going to keep them both on a short lease here. I really do. So even if they get to the bullpens, the middle relief and bullpens, I think they can hold the lineups down here. So I think it bodes well for the under.
Under 9 at even money over at Will Hill. Let's see if anyone's giving you plus on the under 9. You are plus 102 at Heritage. Ragu under 9 at plus 102. All right, I'm off the Angels Yankee spot. Isaac Torres looking for Judge to go yard, and DC Capper on the other side. He's on the over 9 in that one. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Orioles 10-7, 6-4 on the road at the Washington Nationals. 5-12, 2-8 at home at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. Take a look at the weather for this one. 73 Fahrenheit, 5.1 mile. Light out, but light 4.8 to 5.1 here. The question is what are we going to get from Kyle Bradish? Hit by a line drive on April 3rd, and this is being out. I'm not sure what we're going to get from Bradish this year. So let's take a look at the line history here. I know everybody wants to back Orioles against lefties, and Gore is a lefty. Orioles opened up -127. They're now -137. They got up to -140. But this didn't initially move towards the Orioles. At first, it was moving, slightly towards the Nationals. Even at 11:29 this morning, it had moved 2 cents. So, public making moves now, and it's there's been a legit move towards the Orioles. This total opened up at 9. It's dropped to 8.5, which tells us that Kyle Bradish is very likely to pitch good here. Mackenzie Gore, coming off he was in that game against Griffin Canning that Wine Time Sports was at with his boys at the Angels game. And he didn't look very good. 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, 4 walks, 3-2 loss. But he's a decent pitcher. O's are smashing lefties, 279, 882 OPS. Nats can't hit righties, 219, 591 OPS. O's bullpen 3.44 ERA, 1.19 whip. Nats bullpen 4.04 ERA, 1.22 whip. And we got Spenny giving us props for the Jays game. I'm going to copy and paste those so we can discuss them. Take it away for us, Doc. Orioles, Nationals.
Yeah, Orioles are one of my favorite teams to bet on. Year in, year out. I don't back them all the time. Like I always say it every time I come on camera, you're the most profitable run line team in the business. But, you got to kind of hold your nose a little bit when you're getting the plus numbers. And then when you get the minus numbers, you go to the bank there too. So I never really did the splits on that. One day I'm going to do that, though. I'm going to go back and look at the splits when they're the favorite or the underdog and see how it works out. But just combined, they're just the best in the league. But the Nationals, the Gore situation, he's probably one of the bright spots on the team offensively. His team struggles miserably. I think outside of the Marlins, they're the second or third worst, them and the A's. But anyways, that bodes well to the under too. So I think with Gore on the mound, and then their lack of offense production, that kind of why we see that number kind of shaded towards the under. So I that's the only look I have here. I like backing the Orioles. The question marks with Bradish, just I'm going to lay low on this spot here. I just lean under on this spot.
Yeah, I think Bradish, I don't really know what he's going to give us, and I never want to fade the Orioles here against a lefty ever. And I think it's important to note when the market moved. Now, you want the market to move in your direction always, really, but it just moved. So there's enough unknown in this one too. Yeah, but there was some late information on this game too, right? It wasn't like it was publicly known that we're going to get the start. Who's going to get the start? No, I mean, RotoWire's had it for since dawn. Yeah, okay. So maybe there was maybe you're right. Maybe there was confirmation. I say late. Let's just say delayed. Yeah, I feel late. Okay. So no action for us there. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern. This one hurt me, man. This one hurt me bad last night. Cashed the first 5 under very easily. Well, actually, there was a pretty fortunate, really. It was 1-1 though. After 5, there was lots of loaded bases spots, and it could have been broken open, but the game wasn't broken open. Then it's 2-1 going in the bottom of the 9th, and I lose my under 8.5, and that was just extremely, extremely upsetting. But a couple things going on here. First off, Minnesota Twins at Boston Red Sox, and we have our spreadsheet play of the day on the Minnesota Twins minus 127. We had a push in yesterday's spot. He was on the Orioles. So the spreadsheet play today, 4-4, hitting at 50%. Plus 0.23 units, ROI plus 2.88%, average line plus 104. And I'm very excited about some news that we just got from the chat. But right now, we have the spreadsheet play of the day on the Minnesota Twins. Shout out to our Ron Crawford. Gambler's First Glance is in, and it's running with me here on the Dodgers at plus 110. I'm going to put that in so we can discuss it at the end of the day. But that's wrong page. Sorry. Here we go. The Dodgers at plus 110. I love that he's riding with us here on the Dodgers. Let me just get that here. So we have Ragu on the first 5 and on Thor over 3.5 Ks. I got the plus 114 at Bet Online. And Razor, Gambler's First Glance. Gambler's First Glance in on the Dodgers at plus 110. Dodgers, load them up. Here we go. And Alfred's saying that the Mets are up to 140 right now. Let me just see that because it moved that 1 cent even when I was betting it. Well, yeah, you're right. Minus 133 at Pinnacle. That's since. So, yeah, you're right. There's been a 12-cent move in the last 49 minutes. Well, I don't like that. Okay, but let's get back here to this spot here where we have the spreadsheet play of the day. And we're also talking about the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. So let's bring on the star of Say Hey Plays of the day to help us break down this Red Sox spot. Please welcome Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you, my friend?
It's a complicated question, I'll be honest. I'm not the best, but we'll climb out of it. It's okay.
What's up, Jose?
Chip Plyler, I love the under 5 at plus money in the Islanders game. That's what I love. Yes, that first 5 Dodgers was at plus money. It was at Ragu got the first 5 Dodgers at plus 130. Okay, so let's talk about this spot here. And Joe Ryan, 3-0, 2.84 ERA, now a 0.63 whip, 26 Ks in 19 innings, 26 K, 3 walks. Looking very good. Coming off that 11-2 win at the Yankees, he won 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, solo shot, 10 Ks and no walks. Looked very, very good. Let's take a look at the weather here for Joe Ryan to pitch tonight. Cold, 48 Fahrenheit, 11.4 miles per hour out to right field. Dies down to 7.5 miles per hour, but it is cold in Boston. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and see if it correlates with these Red Sox. Here we go. We have 76% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Twins. 76 and 92 on the Twins, and it's moved. What does it move? Sorry, I thought I pulled this up already. Let me just pull this up again. Ryan and Kluber. 76 and 92, and it's moved 9 cents. I wonder if that's enough. A 9-cent move. From a total perspective, this opened up at 9 minus 105 to the over. There's been no move on that. 64% of the tickets, 82% cash on the under, but the market's not moving towards that under. Going up against Corey Kluber, who's been bad this year. 0-3, 6.92 ERA, 1.46 whip, 13 Ks in 13 innings. Last start, he went 4 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and a 9-3 loss at the Rays. The Twins are not hitting righties. 228, 657 OPS. Red Sox aren't hitting righties either. 231, 709 OPS. Both bullpens have been very good, even though they got me right in ye old drink hole last night. Take it away for us, Jose Bouquet. Kluber, Ryan, Twins, Red Sox.
Yeah, so obviously I love Joe Ryan. Most people know this. He's one of my favorite pitchers to back in baseball. I got Jimmy on his Rookie of the Year last year, unfortunately for Jimmy, I guess. But that's how much faith I've had in Ryan for a long time now. And I watched both his starts last year against the Red Sox. After his first start at Fenway Park last year, that's when I kind of locked in and realized, okay, this guy's really good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, a home run, 7 Ks, no walks there. He's won all of his starts this year, or I should say, I guess he has 3-0, but his team has won all of his starts. Corey Kluber, the exact opposite. Lost all of his starts, has not pitched that great. Pitched okay against the non-AL East opponent, but that was the Pirates. The Pirates, who I guess have been hot. Pitched against Minnesota last year and dominated them too. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned run. Correa and Buxton both don't hit him. Correa actually just is shockingly bad against him. So this is, I guess, a good thing for all the Minnesota Twins backers out there. I like the Red Sox here today. I'm just trying to figure out, am I going to take them first 5 or full game, or maybe even both? I was trying to limit my action here today because I've been cold as ice. Maybe I need to take a day and just one play, sit back and watch a little bit. I don't know, but I do like the Red Sox here today. Both bullpens were kind of used up yesterday in the sense that they used their big arms. Shit luck by you for that under, obviously, but they used their big arms yesterday. Jansen, John Scribner, And Duran Johan went for the Twins last night. So are they available today? I would think so, honestly. So that's why I'm like concerned, but I don't want to just limit first 5 because I really like Joe Ryan. I think he's a really good pitcher here. He did, like I said, face the Red Sox twice last year. That first start when he was, fresh, ready to go, dominated. At the end of the year, at his place, he got touched up by these Red Sox. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs there. Worse on the road, home road splits wise last year, a 3.04 to a 4.42 or 4.22 ERA. So I'm leaning towards the Red Sox here, but I admit I am a little gun shy.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's one thing that's caught me by surprise is the first 5 has gone from 4.5 to 5, and it's cold.
Yeah, I leaned under as well because at the end of the day, I think both these pitchers can pitch well, but yeah, it is concerning.
Let's hear what Doc has to say. Take it away, Doc. Twinkies, Red Sox.
I was looking at something like on the run differentials, like the American League East, they're all positive except for Toronto's like negative, and they're sitting in third. Even with Boston in last place, they got a positive run differential, and Minnesota is the only one in their division, and it's a slight run differential plus in their division. So. And then, like Jimmy was saying, the total's going up. But I do notice that when he pitches, like he's 3-0, he beat Houston Yankees and the Kansas City. They scored like 11, 9, and 7 there. So that bodes well to the over, I would think, right? So, and then I was looking at his K information. He's got like a little over north of 12 per 9. So what do we get for innings here? We get 6. So his 5.5 K prop is sitting at plus money. So that kind of put me off of it just a little bit too there. So he's at plus 115, 5.5 Ks. So does he get 5 or does he get 6 or does he get, somewhere just north of there or south of there? So that was kind of intriguing though. I like that look. I like the 115 is like right in my wheelhouse, but I'm going to be on the over here. I'm going to say there's going to be runs and I'm going to bet the over. That's going to be my official play. And I lean real hard just for the value play, possibly of the over on the K prop at 115.
I think that over might be just a real sharp way of looking at it. Let's line shop for you on that over. Does that, Jose, while I'm line shopping, does that push you into pulling the trigger on anything?
I will admit, Sharpie mentioning that Joe Ryan's K prop today looked a little fishy.
Yeah, it does.
And then that did give me a little confidence because of Lodolo last night, obviously. I'll go ahead and make the Red Sox full game money line official, and shout out to all the people out there that obviously when I'm cold, I go back to the team that has probably lost me the most amount of units this year so far in the Red Sox. But this is what it is right now. And I do say this with the Red Sox tattoo on me as well. So that also adds another layer of just greatness to this bet. But yeah, I do like my Red Sox today win this game, shockingly enough.
Ragu, we can get you an 8.5 on this at minus 120. Would you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you would okay, cool.
Yeah, I would take that's in my wheelhouse. 120, 115.
Okay, you got it. And then Jose Bouquet on his Boston Red Sox here. We can get you a minus 121 full. Wait, how's that possible? Sorry, that was Minnesota. We can get you that's not possible. Plus 116 on the Boston Red Sox. Let me just see if we can get you any better than that anywhere. And we can't. Plus 116 on the Red Sox full game for Jose. And you are in business. AOD says Jose looks like he about to choke someone.
I am genuinely not pleased with my performance on the baseball field, and it is very much weighing on me. Yesterday was the first day where I was like, wow. And then it really did affect me. I got the no sleeps last night as well. So that is all factuals. But if you'll allow me, Jimmy, I do have a play potentially on this next game as well, and it will shock people.
Well,
okay, all right, that's good. That's good.
Let's move on to the final game here on the board in MLB before we get into NBA. 8:10 p.m. Eastern, the Toronto Blue Jays 11-7, 7-5 on the road at the Houston Astros 8-10, 5-7 at home. Oh, Johnny Gunn's looking for a fake cry. Maybe, will that make you feel better?
That was unfortunate. Those would be real tears, unfortunately.
Okay, let's not fake cry. Let's not fake cry. But I thank you, Johnny. You're trying. Johnny's trying. Trying to bring some happiness back into Jose's life. And watching you fake cry always makes us happy. Spenny Pennybomb says moved on props for this game. Jose Abreu over 1.5 bases at +125. Kyle Tucker home run at +390. Springer home run at +390. Dalton Varsho over 1.5 total bases +135. And he's got a small sprinkle on the Varsho homer at +390 as well. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas here. We have Barrios going up against Luis Garcia. Both pitchers seemingly vulnerable. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Astros opening up -117, now +101. A huge move towards the Toronto Blue Jays. This got to -114 from the Jays. The Jays actually had a 22-cent move towards them. It's come back 5 cents since then. But people believing in Jose Barrios here or not believing in Luis Garcia. This total opened up at 9.5 and has dropped to 9. So maybe there's just a belief in Barrios. Alfred says, I don't get this price with Barrios on the road. Well, let's take a look at the cash here for our final game on the board. 50% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Houston Astros. And yet, the market's moving towards the Blue Jays briskly. That's interesting. 59% of the tickets, 78% of cash on the over, and yet the line's moving towards the under. Joe Yurkovich is on the over here. Spenny saying Barrios on the road, wouldn't trust it. Barrios 1-2, 7.98 ERA, 1.50 whip, 14 2/3, 18 Ks, 3 walks, 1 homer. I'm not using the home and road splits. I'm not going to use them for a while. The sample size is just too small, but we could talk about how bad he was last year, and that'd be fair. Luis Garcia 0-2. Oh, but last start for Barrios was his first good start of the year. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, no walks, 6-3 win at home over Tampa. Luis Garcia's looked bad all year. 7.71 ERA, 1.86 whip. Last start, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 7 Ks, 2 walks, 6-2 loss at home over the Rangers. Jays 268, 771 versus righties. Astros not hitting righties. 246, 686. Both bullpens have been very similar. Mediocre, maybe a little better than mediocre. Take it away, Jose Bouquet. You have a play here on Jays Astros. We're all ears.
Yeah, everyone knows that I can't stand Jose Barrios. One of my least favorite pitchers in baseball. I mentally broke him, et cetera, et cetera. I think this is the first time in 2 years that I think I'm gonna back him here. Jimmy, shockingly enough, I thought, coming into this, I was gonna back my guy Luis Garcia to bounce back, but Sharpie pointed this out a couple of weeks ago now. It's not been the same since he changed that pitching windup. They outlawed the baby rocking thing and just hasn't really been the same. I would venture to say maybe even he would go to the bullpen at some point because he's just been a lot better out of the bullpen than he has been so far starting this year. So we'll see how that goes. But Barrios just shockingly good against these Astros. He's faced them once in the last once every time in the last 3 years, I believe it was. Last year at home against the Astros, 5 2/3, 7 hits, 1 earned run there. The Astros lineup's just not that good this year so far. That line movement obviously, makes me feel a little shittier that I wasn't on the Blue Jays earlier, and I'm getting a shittier line now. But I do like the Blue Jays here. I don't know if I'll take them full game money line or I'll take them a first 5 here as well. It does seem like I will be taking a first 5 probably. But I also do like the over here as well because at the end of the day, Barrios home road splits, like you mentioned last year, are horrific. A 6 ERA on the road, 4 at home. So it's just one of those things. What do I trust here more? Do I trust Barrios to actually bet a good start here against the defending world champions, who I don't expect Kyle Tucker to be in the lineup here again? Maybe I'll get fucked by this again. But Kyle Tucker got shaken up last night, I believe. So ultimately, I don't think he gets in there, and he smashes Barrios too. So that'll also be a thing. So give me the Blue Jays here. And I'll decide here in a second if I'll take them first 5 -0.5 or full first 5 money line -120. But I think Barrios can pitch well here, shockingly enough.
Rocco believing that Yordan Alvarez also will be out of the lineup after hurting his ankle yesterday. What would you? Well, I mean, you can choose whatever you're going to make official once you tweet it out. But just for my notes, what are you moving on?
I think I'll, maybe I'll just be safe here, and I'll just take the first 5 money line here on the Blue Jays.
You also don't have to make the decision now. I don't need to force you into it. I mean, we know where you're leaning. You can take more time if you want.
It's okay. I'll just move on the first 5 money line. I'm just doing a lot of humming and hawing, and I'll probably just end up moving on it anyways. -120 for me. Obviously, I haven't tweeted any of these out, so we can line shop a little bit. But yeah, those are the 2 plays I'm heading in to say hey plays with tonight, or today, I should say. Dabby Cab joining us at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. It's a short show, 4 games, so I will be excited to see how it goes for me today.
Astros first 5 right before Ragu takes over. Oh, sorry. Blue Jays first 5. We have a -115 at Will Hill. Let's see if Pinnacle can beat that or anyone can beat that. And all we have is that -115. Blue Jays first 5 -115 for Jose. Blue Jays first 5 -115. Ragu, take it away. Last game on the board.
Yeah.
Blue Jays, Astros.
So Barrios ruined my my adopted team's 14-0 major league record. So what do I got to do to pay him back? I got to fucking come back and back him today. A lot of vulnerabilities on the Astros with the pitching, with the lineup, and I think that the Jays bats will be live here in this spot here too. So if Barrios falls, like I was it your who was it, Joe, that had the over the 9, I guess it was. Our guy Joe, possibly. But I think I'm going to get involved. I'm going to take the equation of the Astros bats out of the game just in case if they do pop off and they score runs and Barrios doesn't get the W. I still think that Toronto's going to score runs either way. So I'm going to be on the Toronto team total over 4.5 runs at -105. I'm going to do that. Then I'm also going to come back in with Barrios and back him up for -1 line too at a plus number, whatever you can get me on that. So,
and that's full game.
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
So team total that over 4.5 -105. I can't beat that. I can only get a -106, so we'll give you that there. Yeah. And then Blue Jays full game on the -1 line. Here they're offering that for at +116 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, we'll ride that out.
I wouldn't mind seeing if I can beat that. But there you go. Blue Jays, a full game at -1 at +116. Let me just quickly, very, very quick. I know it's time for NBA, and we got Darryl fresh off sweeping the board. But let me just see if I can beat that number here.
While you do look for that, I'll give Darryl his warning now. You better fucking hope the Lakers don't make the finals against the Celtics, Darryl. You better fucking hope not, Darryl. I will fly to California for every single game, Darryl, just to see your smiling face, Darryl. You better not. And Jimmy, I'll go ahead and do this as well. I've been thinking about this. I'm going to make Blue Jays Astros over 9 official too. I think there was some bias. I can't remember the word that we use for the term, the bias that we have. I bet the over last night. It didn't cash for me. So I'm going to go back to the well here and hoping that bias does not intrude my brain. And take the over 9 because it just kind of seems obvious with both these pitchers. Maybe too obvious, but over 9 -105 is what I have.
Get you a -103.
Hey, watch out for the fucking Clippers, man. Watch out for the Clip.
That would be a shame.
You are locked in. Great job, Jose. Thank you for sharing it. And we believe in you, man. We believe you. It's just like Chip Plylar said. It's just April. Let's review all action here. I'm on the Tigers' first 3 and first 5, and it's 0-0 heading in the bottom of the second. So chances are good. Ragu's on the Marlins' first 5 -0.5 at +130. It's 0-0 in the second. but looks like they're going to get out of that inning. Ragu's on the cards first 5 -1. I'm on the cards first 5 -0.5, and it is 1-0 cards with 2 men on and 1 out. Then Ragu is on the Phillies -1.5 at +147. I'm moving on the first 5. Oh, I did move on the first 5. That's one of the ones I already bet. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5 -115. Rangers Royals, we are off. I got the Dodgers at +114 at Bet Online. If I wanted to bet them now, I would get +118. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Gambler's first glance also on the Dodgers money line. Ragu's on Thor over 3.5 strikeouts, and Dodgers first 5 at +130. Ragu's on the Pirates -1.5 at +125, and first 5 -0.5 at +101. I'm also going to be on the Pirates first 5 -0.5. Cubs A's, we stayed off. Brewers Mariners, we stayed off. Ragu's on the first 5 under 5 in Atlanta San Diego, and Braves first 5 -0.5 at +115. Ragu's on the under 9 at +102, and Angels Yankees. We're off Orioles Washington. In the spreadsheet play days, Minnesota -127. Jose's on the Red Sox +116. Ragu's on the over 8.5 -120. And then Jose's on the Blue Jays first 5 -115. The over 9 -103. Ragu's on the Blue Jays team total over 4.5, and Blue Jays full game -1. So for me, it's going to be all baseball all afternoon. I don't have anything after. The only thing I'm adding right now to what I've already bet is the Pirates. Oh, and I haven't. I bet the Dodgers, but I haven't.
Hey, what was that? What was that price on the Toronto -1?
The best one was Pinnacles +116.
116. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, because interestingly enough, the Jays -1.5 at Bet365 are +125.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty nice number there.
10-4.
You are locked in. Ragu opening up his account here. Betting with the bag. He'll be here every second Wednesday throughout the season. And again, last year, 44-31, 58.7% plus 13.57 units, ROI +18.09%, average line +104. It's now 2-0 Cardinals. And can't wait to watch you rock this year. We're extremely fortunate that you run with us, Doc. Thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for running with us, man.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be with the family, our family, the Low Bag family, and, of course, you on screen. Jose behind the ones and twos, and Jeff back in San Antonio, and our guys out in Cali, our hoop bangers out there too. So always a pleasure to be on. Let's cash some tickets. And I look forward to seeing you real soon, my man.
I love it. There he is, the legend, the Big Ragoo in the house every second Wednesday. So next Wednesday will be Connor Mack. What an awesome Wednesdays we're going to have with C-Mac and Ragu. Okay, it is time for NBA. Your guest swept the board last week with plus money spots. Now 56-47, hitting at 54.4%, plus 8.16 units, ROI +7.92%, and his average line is -101. Our guest did it this year, is doing it this year, and he also did it last year for us. He was so good last year, and he's just putting it on again. And that's important. As somebody can have a strong year, but how many years can you do it in a row? And that's why we think Big Ragoo is so special here. Last year, Derl went 104-78 plus 21.69 units with an ROI of 11.92% and an average line of -103. Hard to find consistent winners in NBA, and we have one right now, right here. Please welcome from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Darryl Rice to the show. What up, Darryl? How are you, man?
Yo, how are you, Jimmy? Man, good to be back, bro. Good to be back talking ball, man. Any day on this side of the grass is definitely a good
day. It's a good day. It is a good day, and you're coming off board sweepage last week. Stay hot, Darryl. We need you to stay hot. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work,
at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, West first round, game 2. Darryl's LA Lakers lead the series 1-0. What a difference a few months makes.
For real.
We now have a squad that people really believe in.
Yeah.
So over to NBA and start with the line history here. Oh, sorry, here we go. NBA. Line history. Here we go. Lakers, Memphis. Of course, the question is, what is going on with Ja?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at the market, Ja must not be playing tonight. Lakers opened up at plus 2.5. They are now at -1, but they were at -1.5, so it's come back a half point. From a total side of things, this opened up at 228. It's dropped to 226.5. Let's go over to the cash flow for this game 1 on the NBA playoff calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Go to all markets. Here we go. So I guess the money line probably should be looked at. It's gone from plus to minus, so we can look at both, but they're both almost exactly the same. On the money line, there's 30% of tickets on the Grizzlies, but 70% of cash. On the spread, 30% of tickets on the Grizzlies, 62% of cash. On the total, there is 49% of tickets on the under, but 91% of cash. So we've seen the market not respect the big bets on the Grizzlies, or maybe that's just player personnel related. We do see them respecting the under in this spot. The series game 1 was played at a pace of 100.50 possessions a game, very similar to the pace that the Lakers and Grizzlies played all year. All year, the Lakers played at a pace of 101.92 possessions a game, 4th fastest in the league. 8th fastest was the Grizzlies, just behind them at 101.50 possessions a game. Ja hurt his hand. He's a game-time decision. He's listed as questionable. The x-rays said there were no fractures or ligament tears. So now it's up to him whether he can grip the ball and handle everything. When he left the game, Lakers went on a 15-0 run, and that changed everything. Tyus Jones would move into the starting lineup if Ja's not available. Memphis went 6-3 when Ja was suspended, and was suspended for 8 games, and then was out 1 game, for their own conditioning reasons. Tyus looked great. 16.3 points, 8.2 assists, just 1.3 turnovers, had 10 or more assists, and his first triple-double of his career. Jaren Jackson looked great in game 1 after being named the defensive player of the year at just 23 years old. He put in 31 points. Bane added 22. The Lakers had 20 points by 4 players, 20 or more by 4. Hachimura went 11-14 for 29. Austin Reeves, 14 points and 5-5 shooting in the 4th quarter, scored 9 straight points. Anthony Davis added 22 points, 12 boards, 7 blocked shots. LeBron 21 and 11. Can Rui and AR-15 keep playing at this level to give you guys 4 scores? That's the question. Take it away for us, Darryl. Lakers, Grizzlies.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is, now that we're in playoff mode, when I start capping the games in playoff mode, I steer away from a lot of the regular season stats. So we're not going to do this, their ATS. You can look more at their head-to-head matchups, but even that takes even a more efficient way of looking at things to try to be neutral when you're capping playoff games. So you go down a rabbit hole. And so when I cap the postseason, it's really head-to-head matchups. I'm not concerned about what the Lakers did at the end of the season. I'm not concerned about what Ja did at the end of the season. I'm looking at their head-to-head matchups and then their last game. Okay, so with this matchup, I guarantee you this is going to be how some people have capped this game, some cappers, and I don't want you to fall into this trap. A lot of people are going to automatically look at Grizzlies, right? And they're going to think Grizzlies, because you're not going to get that type of game again from Rui Hachimura, right? That's probably once in a lifetime where the dude's going to hit 5 or 6 from the 3, go balls to the wall, right? And play 30 minutes. He's probably not going to do that again, right? Don't also look more into the Austin Reeves, stat line as well, thinking that he won't do that again. What you have to look at really about this game are the matchups. And what I'm seeing is ultimately, this has been a bad matchup for Memphis. A really bad matchup for Memphis. The problem is Memphis really doesn't have an answer for AD. They don't. And they don't, once you don't have that depth and those wing defenders, and Brandon Clark and Triple J, I just feel like this is a game that does not play well into Memphis's hands. This is another thing I don't want a lot of stock in, really, is that Memphis actually plays better without Ja, right? I know people are going to think that and might look at the numbers, and they might even somewhat dictate that. But this isn't the same team as the team of last year where they went that long stretch without John was doing better, right? So to your point, they went 6-3, and, you know, they were able to win games without Ja. That's just not the case in these playoffs. So it's a very long-winded way of saying right now that Memphis is in trouble if they don't have Ja on the court. And Ja was really sluggish, and I think that narrative actually stuck out to a certain degree, to where when he got in to play against the Lakers in the playoff game, it was really more about trying to feel and not really take control. That's what I saw. And fitting that narrative as trying to get everybody involved. The Lakers have beat them all but once this season, right? And that was a game without LeBron. That was LeBron's first game away from having his foot, you know, messed up from that Dallas game, I believe. And, you know, to be quite honest, the Lakers kept that close. It was 110-106 with 4 minutes, 48 seconds left. And that game just got away from the Lakers. So this is the game I really want to watch. I'm not looking at a side, but when you look at head-to-head matchups, these are people who score. Austin Reeves scores. Of course, you got your superstars that score, and surprisingly, Dennis Schroeder scores. So this is the way I look at it. I've got too much of my fan side invested to play a side, so I don't want to play a side here. I really do believe the Lakers are going to win this game. I do believe that. But what's more consistent is Austin Reeves scoring over 15.5 points. Austin Reeves scoring over 15.5 points is very consistent. He scored 23 last game. The game prior to that, he scored 17. The game prior to that, he scored 17. And then there was one game he didn't play this season, I believe. So Austin is consistently scoring over that 15.5 mark, as well as Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder's points are surprisingly low. They're at 8.5 right now. And the playoff game, he scored 7. Now, the reason why I won't play Dennis is because it looks like they're limiting those minutes. If Dennis had a stronger role, then I would play Dennis Schroeder points. But he gave you 7 last game, and that was playing 20 minutes. So the more consistent person would be Austin Reeves. Austin may give you just another 17. So I do like Austin Reeves points over 15.5. That's the safest play for me, because me being a Laker fan and me believing that the Lakers can win this game outright, if you're going to pick a side and you like the Lakers, wait for the injury news. If you like Memphis, pick Memphis right now. If you like them right now, you know, because if Ja does play, then of course it's going to be a better number. If Ja is out, it's going to be a larger number. So if you like the Lakers, I would say play the Lakers now. If you like Memphis, or if you like the Lakers, wait on the Ja news. If you like Memphis, play them now. Me personally, I can't take a side. The total on this game is reading 235. This is the analytics site, home by 5.83. 235, home by 5.83. This is what the analytics sites say. I don't agree with it. I do like Austin Reeves points over 15.5 though.
What is the juice associated with that prop?
I got it at -124. So it is juiced.
Did you like him screaming "I'm him" after that last shot?
I thought it was funny. Man. But this dude is easily playing himself into a bag right now. This brother will get paid, man.
Yeah.
He will get paid. He's got the trust of LeBron. He is not scared to go up into the paint. And he's like somebody called him, the 2016 James Harden? Like, this guy is just drawing fouls, man. Like, it's nothing right now.
That's just,
and he's shifty, and he's just able to do it, man. He's working on a bag. So now that this is going to be the 5th time they've played, Austin, man, he's got their number to agree to where he knows how to score. So for me, I like Austin Reeves over 15.5 points. That's the bet. And that's a good point there by BJ. This line is overreaction. Yeah, I got you there, man. And with me, I would have to see a game because I actually was talking this game out with my buddy who hates the Lakers. He hates the Lakers. And that's why I like talking to him about Laker games, because he helps me stay kind of more centered and not try to look at all the positives all the time and disregard the negatives. He likes the Lakers tonight. He took the Lakers. And for a minute I was like, okay, this is probably a Grizzlies spot. They can't go down 2-0. This still is the number 2 team in the league. But he pointed out so many factors where, the Lakers have got their number. And if they can win this second game, this might be a sweepage easily.
Wow. BJ dropping 4 units on the Grizzlies.
Yes.
That is wild. Austin Reeves over 15.5 points at -124.
Mm-hmm.
I think Austin Reeves is closer to a 2023 Jimmy the Bag than he is a 2016 James Harden. But we can discuss all that at another time. BJ,
Yeah.
big bet on the Grizzlies.
Yeah, best of luck to you, man. I mean, that's I don't agree with it, but hey, I'm not playing that side. So best of luck to you, brother.
We move on to the next game on the board, 9 p.m. Eastern. The East first round, game 2. Miami leads the series 1-0. Heat 44-38, 17-24 on the road at Milwaukee. Bucks 58-24, 32-9 at home at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Here we go. The Bucks, and this is another spot where we're waiting on injury news. But judging by the 1.5 point move 5 minutes ago at Pinnacle, Giannis is going to be in.
Giannis is going to be in. I knew it. I
don't have any confirmation there, but we have a 1.5 point move 5 minutes ago at Pinnacle. So that tells me that Giannis is in. They opened up -7. They're now -8. Total wise here, we have it opening up at 220. And 3 minutes ago, there was a 2-point move to the over. That has to be Giannis is in. It just has to be.
Has to be. I saw, man, listen. If you're not all over Milwaukee early in this game, I don't know what you're smoking.
Well, let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 67% of the tickets and 94% of the cash is on the Milwaukee Bucks. 67% of the tickets and 87% of cash is on the under. BJ got in on the Bucks at -6. Nice job. It is now -8. Andrew G says Bucks will win the next 4 straight. The series played at almost the exact same pace the Bucks played at all throughout the year. They averaged 101.45 possessions a game. That was 10th in the NBA. They played the game 1 at 101.50. Heat were 29th in the NBA in pace, 96.76 possessions a game. So they were playing a little faster. And Tyler Hero Gonzo, broken right hand, season-ending surgery later this week. So
later, Gator.
Is it Caleb Martin or Duncan Robinson?
Doesn't matter. Well, it should be Caleb. I mean, it should be Caleb.
I agree.
Why are we playing Duncan?
I don't know how you'd want Duncan Robinson out there in a meaningful physical basketball game. So it's a lower back tailbone injury for Antetokounmpo. I guess he was listed as doubtful. There's the Foulish Hound in the house. We've missed you, Foulish Hound, gracing us, blessing our picks. Nice to see you, Foulish Hound.
Blessing our picks.
Oh yeah, that's what she does. She blesses our picks. The X-rays were negative, and he's got to be in there. He's got to be. Yeah. Middleton had 33. Drew 16 and 16. What happened is a lot of BJ's heavy on the Grizzlies, and he says, "Look, Hachimura's not going to go 11 for 14. These guys are going to shoot that way." Well, I guess that'd be the same angle here. We had the Heat go 15 of 25 from 3. The Bucks went 11 of 45. Gabe Vincent was 4 of 5. Kevin Love was 4 of 7. That was a season best accuracy percentage for the Heat. Butler 35, Bam 22, 9 and 7. Take it away for us here, Darryl. You've given us a hint But take it away. Heat.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this one here, I played this last night. I took the Bucks at -2, and I was just looking at this game. I was looking at these games last night, and just looking at some highlights and things like that. And there's one thing for certain. These teams, especially in the first quarter, are completely opposite. Bucks just dominate the first quarter, especially off of a loss, especially at home. And the Heat are not no, that's not the same. They're the exact opposite. When the Heat are in the first quarter coming off away, off of a win, look at the numbers. They're like night and day. They're just polar opposite. And I would bring them up for you, but I'm like this one to me was just a little more too obvious to not take right away. And this is probably the earliest play I've taken all year, just about. I look at games the night before, but I don't start making plays till probably about 7, 8 o'clock Pacific time the next day. I stepped on this yesterday when it was at -2. Bucks first quarter -2. And the reason why I'm going this route is because I believe in the zigzag theory here. I really do. It proved itself with the Knicks and the Cavaliers game, and I think it's going to prove itself here with this Miami and Bucks game. Miami, they weren't supposed to win the first game, and now they're down without Tyler Hero, who makes up with a lot of space and a lot of shooting. I believe the Bucks come out here on absolute fire. Absolute fire. I really do. I couldn't talk anybody off Bucks trifecta here, to be honest with you. But the reason why I'm taking them early is because I like to take teams when they're most freshest and most alert and aware. That's just first quarter for me. So for me, this one here just screams Milwaukee Bucks early. Now, how the game plays out, you know, what is something going to happen if Giannis re-aggravates his back? You know, is something going to happen down the stretch to where there's these different swings going on and there's momentum shifts and things like that? I don't want to worry about that. I don't. But the Heat should not be in this position where they're up 1-0. They should not. They really shouldn't. And as quiet as kept, the Heat is not that same playoff team as they were last year when they were a 3-point shot away from going to the finals. This is just not the same team. Maybe you can count on Jimmy Buckets to do his job. That's fine. But Bam Adebayo is not the same to me. We don't know what the heck happened to Kyle Lowry, and now you're down another shooter. Give me Milwaukee Bucks. I took them last night at -2. I think when I looked this morning, that line was -2.5. Couldn't talk you off that either. I wouldn't let it get over 3.5 though. But I got them at -2 first quarter. That is my play.
Bookmaker and Bet Chris just moved Milwaukee back to 7.5. So maybe I was a little too quick to anoint Giannis being in.
I think he's going to play. I thought that last night. I think he's going to play, bro. I think he is.
So with this line now, for our record-keeping purposes, at 2.5, did you tweet out the first quarter?
No.
So are you okay taking the 2.5 now?
So that gives me a 3-point lead. I'll take the 2.5 because all it is going to.
You don't have to. I mean, like, if you would prefer, because you know these first quarter. I mean, it's. I don't feel forced to take it. You know, that's a big move to the 2.5.
Well, it just stops from being a push, right? So, I mean, we're talking about either a push or winning the spot. So, if you have a 2, what is that juiced at right now?
I will
like 130.
Yeah, let's find out right now. So we'll go over the Pinnacle. We have Heat Bucks. And it's just like old times here. They just pulled the game.
Yeah.
They just pulled the game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it doesn't matter in this case. This should just be a beatdown if you ask me. So I got it at 2. All it is I'm gonna push, or if I take the 2.5, I'm gonna either win or lose in this case here. So I'll take the 2.5 just for the show's sake. I got it at 2. I'll take it to 2.5.
Yeah, and these other books won't let me move it up. I think 365 will let me move it. Let me just see what it would be. Yeah, they're gonna, they screw you. This book just screws you every chance they get. But alternate point spread here. No, they won't. They won't give you an opportunity for it.
Yeah. Just let's shoot the 2, man. 2.5. I'm sorry. Let's shoot the 2.5. I got to be confident about that.
Heritage can give you that at minus 105. Minus
for the 2.
Yeah. No, 2.5.
Minus 2.5. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's go for 2.5. Minus 105.
Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 and minus 105. You are locked in for that. Sorry, I just checked my daughter's. Just one more game, sweetheart. I'll be right there. Okay, my love. Need you to just be cool. All right. Okay. Heat Bucks. Girls on the Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 at minus 105. Tell me you didn't say that. Got that at 1.5, but at minus 125. Okay.
Yeah.
Darryl is locked in with the Bucks. Can we touch? I think the difficulty here with any total bet or anything like that is that Troy saying why no Bucks for you. I want to see where this ends. I don't want to sit.
So
here.
You think you would be more convinced after they play a second game?
No, I just want to see what happens this afternoon. I want to look at Giannis in warm-ups. Like I just want to feel like I don't. One thing that the NBA taught us this year is don't make presumptions.
Hurry up
if
and
you
win.
start making presumptions without facts behind it, next thing you know, you're looking at the lineup going, "What? Wait, what?" And so I just look. It's our hard-earned money, and there's so much at stake for our succeeding. And I just don't want to.
I'll tell you what, man. And this is what I said yesterday too. I think a lot of people are waiting for Giannis to be out, and they're still going to smash the Bucks.
I would prefer that. I would prefer to have the Bucks first quarter or Bucks early without Giannis. Much prefer that.
So I get it. But this is the presumption, and you're right. I'm completely making the mistake of what you don't want to do. And my presumption is he is going to play. So I'm jumping on it early.
Exactly, but I don't mind that. You're making a bet. You're making a bet on an injury that he's going to be in. I'm not comfortable making that bet, and I like the Bucks better if he's out.
Right, absolutely.
So
because the public is going to hammer the Heat. Your common bettor is going to, if Giannis is ruled out, they are going to smack the Heat,
and they're going to lose. So yeah,
they're going to lose, and they're going to lose.
Troy Torrance says, I agree, Jimmy. Unfortunately, he is in. That's what it feels like at this point. So, okay. So let's roll on. Saturated says, even with Giannis in, he thinks the Heat can keep it close. Says Jimmy got that dog in him. Jimmy Butler, 35.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's Jimmy. It's all or nothing for Jimmy. But I just don't think this is the same team as last year.
Let's move on to the final game on the board here, 10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves at Denver Nuggets. We've already heard from Dan Kelly that he has moved on the Timberwolves to win the series at just under 10.
Wow.
Just under 10 to 1. So the idea is that Jokic's wrist injury is real. And it's a real issue that's really bothering him. That is the angle here for Dan Kelly.
But they smacked many. I mean, what? So I don't get it.
Look, at 10 to 1, he feels like it's worth it. I don't think that we should really judge the Timberwolves on game 1. You had Denver off for 6 days, while Minnesota had 2. Well, one was a tough playing game, the other wasn't really that tough, but they were hard at work. So I think that it's that they shouldn't be judged on the horrific display they had in game 1. Mike M says Minnie's outmatched here.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But what is Jokic does look hurt.
Did he re-aggravate it in that game?
He says that. Well, he's kind of not saying anything, but they've said that he did. He re-aggravated a wrist injury, and it's bothering him. So the pace was very slow in game 1, 94 possessions a game. the Nuggets were the 24th fastest team in the league this year at 98.74 possessions a game. And Timberwolves, 7th fastest, 101.55 possessions a game. Eric Rosas says that 10-1's worth it. He only sees 7-1 right now. So let's go into the line history and the cash flow. And by the way, we had Dennis looking at the under in that Heat Bucks game. That under is, went from 218 to 220 with the Giannis announcement. Now it's dropped back a half point. Not announcement, or thought that it was a Giannis announcement. I can understand the under, but I want Giannis to be in there if I want the under. If Giannis is in there, I want the under. If Giannis isn't in there, I want the Bucks and maybe the over. I would need to think about it a little bit more. But in years past, when Giannis was not on the floor, they sped up and their rhythm was pretty nice. But
shoot, here it is. I'm sorry about that. Analytics site total for that game, Miami and Milwaukee, total 219, home by 4.26.
Wow. All right, let's talk Wolves. Nuggets. This opened up with the Wolves plus 8.5 -105. They're now plus 8.5 -102. So we have a 3-cent move to the Nuggets. It did get off of 8.5. It moved to 8 after it being available for about 9 hours or so. It moved to 8, and it stayed at 8 for quite a long time. It didn't go back to 8.5 until 1 this morning. Take a look at the totals here. This total opened up at 223.5. It's dropped a 1.5 to 222. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 32% of the tickets and 64% of the cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then we have 62% of tickets and 44% of cash on the under. So bigger bets have come in on the over. 38 and 56 have come in on the over. Big Luch, he says Timberwolves are bums. Says put your money on Denver. Don't overthink it.
Absolutely. That's what I think about it. That's just me. I couldn't agree with that more.
Nuggets won game 1 very easily. Timberwolves shot 37% from the field, 30.6% from 3, 9 of 16 from the foul line. Wuhan Gobert is listed as questionable. 6 players scored in double figures for Denver. Jokic just 13 points and 14 boards, but he was in control of the pace certainly. Jamal went for 24, 8, and 8. First playoff game since the bubble in Orlando in 2020. Take it away for us here, Darryl. Wolves, Nuggets.
So here's a question I want to throw at you, and it's just kind of a general question, even to the low baggers in the chat. Do you think we have a little recency bias with how bad Denver's played over these past couple of weeks that is kind of affecting how we think about them now against a bum squad in Minnesota? I mean, Denver was playing so good all year that they could afford to literally punt just about the last 2 weeks of the season. And do you think people are just thinking that they were so terrible? The last 2 weeks of the regular season has kind of crept into how they cap in this game against this terrible of a team?
Yes, but I think that went away a bit, when they destroyed the Wolves in game 1. So I think that was played a much bigger role before game 1 of the series than it plays in game 2 of the series.
Yeah. So there's got to be adjustments made, but the worst thing that could have ever happened to many, if you ask me, is you lose your best perimeter defender in McDaniels when he decides to punch a wall and break his hand. Another thing that people don't really look at is how good of a defensive presence Naz Reid is, actually. That's adding more depth to the bigs, right? There's not really much you can do with Gobert outside the paint. So all he's going to be is a rim protector, rim defender, and grab you boards, right? But at least Naz is able to space the floor along with Cat when he comes in and plays, so you can kind of play this 5 out. I just feel that you are seriously crippled without those 2 players in the game. That's just my opinion. So regardless of how crippled Joker is, just his presence alone is going to be enough to disrupt the Wolves. I feel that way. And Harrell says, right, he's Towns is soft. Not only is he soft, but he makes these dumb fouls, man. He makes these stupid fouls, and to me, I just feel like there's not really a legitimate leader on that squad. It's not in Cat. It's not even Anthony Edwards. I just think he's a year away from being a year away type deal. That's a football term, right? Where he's not there yet. But that's the guy that if you needed one game for him to take over, it should be him. He didn't do it against the Lakers, and he really didn't do it against OKC. So I just feel like there's still a lack of cohesion with this group. And now, in my opinion, you've lost your best perimeter two-way defender, and you lost a added depth in your bigs when you bring in Naz Reid, who can give you help in the paint and on the outside. So I don't see how many could win any games, to be honest with you. I don't see it. Now, maybe you might go home and play a little better. Maybe this is a gentleman's sweep, but Denver should mop them. Now, with that said, analytics site calling this game total 228, home by 4.87. So if you like, now this analytics site, for what it's worth, I haven't really kept up on its record, but it has every game even before the lines come out. So I pay attention to that because I just want to see if these lines are in accordance to what the lines are. And so I just feel here that this is a spot that maybe Minnesota can make adjustments, but I just don't think they're good enough to beat Denver at all. That's just my opinion. Too much going on here. So for right now, it's a no play for me. But if Denver wins this game and it's by a smaller margin, right? Or even if the Wolves cover but lose, look for that line to be super low and smack Denver on game 3. Because I think this can be a sweep. But for right now, no play.
Yeah, I don't I mean, at this point, there's some pretty clear big bets made on the Timberwolves at this number. We saw it drop to 8 for a little bit. Now back at 8.5. I don't want to trust the Timberwolves here. If I did, I wouldn't trust them for a full game. I would take them first half.
Yeah, they're neck and neck. If you're looking at scoring, right? Like your top 3 first half, first quarter teams are Denver, Minnie, and Milwaukee. Those are the top 3, So
I think Wuhan won't start and is probably on his way back to Minnesota today to get treatment to play in game 3. That's just complete guess on my part. But if he does do that, then the line will hit double digits, and I might have some interest in Minnesota early if Wuhan is on a flight back to Minnesota. So I need to know. There's enormous injury news that in all of these games that I would like to know, and I would like to know because they affect the line so dramatically. And also, I'm not saying that it's going to, I can understand when people say the playoffs are different than the regular season. Regular season, the teams without their 2 best players, their ROI is insanely good. It's not, and I understand playoffs is a little different because there's a lot on the line here.
Who's Wuhan? Is that Gobert?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cold, man. That's messed up, man. You call Agent Zero Wuhan? Is that? Come on, man.
Yes, and it's Gobert's fault. It's not my fault for coming up with a name. It's Gobert's fault for kissing mics. God. You kiss mics and laugh, and then our league gets shut down.
Oh man,
this is brutal. Fucking mic kisser. How far does that mic go down your throat, Wuhan? Does it tickle you down here? All right. Oh god. I can understand no action. I want to know what's going on, and Mike's right. You got to earn the nickname. You got to earn it.
Yeah, you earned that one. But I mean, yeah, if Wuhan if he's coming back because there's something still wrong with his back, that's going to be another issue for Minnie, man. I just don't. I mean, I like Dan, man. I would want to see the reasoning, but besides Joker having a bad hand, that Denver can't go ahead and smack these boys with one arm behind their back, especially if Wuhan's back is still hurting himself.
Well, you are coming off your finest night of the season last Wednesday.
Yeah, man.
Your ROI now is just under 8 7.92. So you're getting back to the double-digit ROI you had last year, and that's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So impressed watching you rock here late in the season. And at this point, we have AR 15 over 15.5 points at minus 124 from Darryl. We have the Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 at minus 105. And I'm going to tweet my action out. I want to be involved in NBA tonight. You
didn't give me real quick. What was your thoughts on the Lakers and Memphis? You didn't tell me a side that you liked, or if you.
I don't want to back.
You're waiting on Ja.
Yeah, but I don't want to back the Lakers here. I'm with DG, and it's impossible. I believe, but I believe in NBA, NHL, MLB. It's impossible for a team that wins the first game on the road to not think, the job's done. We did it. Right? Because all you want to do is split. That. You just want to split. And it creeps in. It just like you don't – I just don't feel like the Lakers are going to have that edge that you need. Like the Grizzlies are going to play with their whole season on the line. I don't know if that's going to be enough. And I don't want Ja out there, being melodramatic about his hand and shit like that. But I do think that the Grizzlies will play with a certain edge. So at this point, I want to know what's going on with Ja. And if he's out, I'll have interest in the Grizzlies. And that's about it. Then I want the under, I think, in Miami, Milwaukee, but I want to study it a little more, and I want to know what's going on with Giannis. Yeah. And then with the Wolves, Nuggets game, I want to know what's up with Wuhan, and I want him on a plane out of here. And if he is, then I'll have some interest in Minnesota early, but there's just too much going on here and too much information that we're going to get. So
last question then. This is just a thought. I know we'll cap out from here, but you don't also think the thinking on the Lakers end is they probably want to try to get this series over with, because once you get to games 4 or games 5, 6, and 7, the rest time is now cut in half to where they're like a day away. And if you're an older team with older legs, not getting that much rest, you don't want that series to draw out.
Look, I absolutely agree with that. The Lakers need rest more than any team in the league. Right. So, but I just feel like they got the split and the job is done. And it's impossible for people not to feel that way. You feel that way in NHL. You feel that like the Kings, if the Kings lose to the Oilers tonight, they did their job.
They did their job.
They come home 1-1 and they're in great shape. And for the Grizzlies, their whole season is on the line right here. Now, it's totally fair, to say that you take out Steven Adams and you can't win in the playoffs. The Grizzlies need Adams for their toughness. That'd be a fair statement. And you'd really like him in this series, just to, put his shoulder into the chest of AD. But when everything's on the line for a group, for a team, male, female, whatever, for a team, when everything's on the line and for the other team, it's not. There's just an edge that I want to have my money on the team where they know their whole season's on the line. So
fair enough.
But
that applies for Milwaukee today then.
Yes, it does. But again, I want Milwaukee without Giannis, and I want the Grizzlies without Ja. And I want the lines that will be given to me then. So this is a tricky one, but I like your action. AR 15 over 59 points minus 124. And Rob Free's going to move on the Bucks double digits. Darryl's on the Bucks first quarter minus 2.5 minus 105. And that's where we stand. I will have interest in Minnesota race to 20.
Oh, that's not bad.
But that
might be a Minnesota spot.
But I want, as I said, I want Wuhan on a plane fucking off. That is our show for today. That is our NBA coverage. Thank you so much, Darryl, for rolling with us. Congratulations on that huge board sweepage last Wednesday.
Yeah,
And
let's
thank you for
continue it.
delivering that to
Mhm.
our friends and family in the chat.
Absolutely.
Darryl, any last words? Oh, please follow Darryl on Twitter at It'sDerl. Darryl, any last words for the Cappers here supporting the show?
I forget. Yeah. No, man. Yeah, all is another good day. Another good day, Jimmy. It's always good talking ball with you, man. I am looking forward to these games tonight. Going to be some really interesting looks for the game threes of these. So, as always, man, peace and love to all of you all in the chat. I will see you on next week.
There he is. It's Darryl. Spectacular bounce back from a bit of a tough start, and now he's about to have a double-digit ROI here on the show. Let's review all action. All action. Thank you, Isaac Torres, my friend. Thank you, all of you guys. It's the chat that makes this special. Kong's clip says the line movement was from Giannis being upgraded to questionable. That's probably, thank you for clarifying that completely, but I get it. Billy Friedrich says, I left, got lunch, had 3 pints, chased some punk ass down in my car and got home. Jimmy's still going. Let's review all action. My favorite bet on the board, I would say, is the under 5 in Carolina and New York Islanders at plus money. Florida Panthers, Boston Bruins. Slatsy came in, let us know. Bergeron out, Sam Bennett in. That's a difference maker, but not enough for me to back the Panthers. But that's a difference maker. It's too bad I didn't get that under 6.5 last night. I don't know why I didn't. I was staring at it last night. I'm on the Stars -1. I'm adding the under 5.5 -125. And I'm already on the LA Kings Edmonton under 6.5. And I really like that bet as well. In MLB, we have the Tigers first 3 pushed and the Tigers first 5 pushed. Now the Cardinals are rolling again. Thank God. So at least we can be 1-0 to start the day, but that's too bad. It's too bad that those are just gone. Ragu's on the Marlins, first 5 -1/2 at plus 130. Rogers has been pulled, and the Giants are threatening. Not good. Not good there. Then Cards first 5 -1/2 for me. Ragu's on the Cards first 5 -1. Let's get rolling. Big Luch, thank you for saying that. Thank you for believing in the show, and it means a ton to us, and it's because of you guys. Troy Torrance says best bet Bucks. If you don't cover first quarter, double down on first half. If they don't cover first half, rip a max full game. Ragu's on the Phillies -1.5 at plus 147. They've already got their scoring started 1-0 in the top of the first, and I've got the under 4.5, a little bit of jeopardy. North Ender said we should have been on the first 5 under in the Tigers. Everything made sense, or at least my thing was that I expected Turnbull to have another good start, and I think Turnbull's bet on. And I should have taken the team total under for the Tribe. That was the mistake there. I'm still okay with the capping. Rangers Royals, we stayed off. Gamblers first glance is Dodgers plus 110. Dodgers plus 114. I got a bet online, but I'll see what it is for when I tweet it out. Because I'll just give out whatever's available then, because I haven't tweeted it out yet. I'm also going to be on Pirates first 5 -1/2. Yeah, Troy saying this line. I saw you write that in. I was just too kind of caught up right now, but makes me nervous. And, in baseball, those line moves, you want them to be going in your direction right near the end when the money's pouring in, Cubs, A's, no action. Brewers, Mariners, no action. Ragu's on the first 5 under 5 in Atlanta, San Diego, and the Braves first 5 -1/2 plus 115. Ragu's on the under 9 at plus 102 in Angels, Yankees. Orioles, Nats, no action. Spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford, Minnesota -127. Jose on the other side with the Red Sox plus 116. Ragu's on the over 8.5 in Twinkies, Red Sox. Jose's on the Blue Jays first 5 -115 and the over 9. Ragu's on the Blue Jays team total over 4.5. Blue Jays full game -1. And Spenny Penny Bombs gave us Abreu over 1.5 bases. Tucker home run. Springer home run. Dalton Varsho over 1.5 bases, and he sprinkled the home run as well. That is our show for today. Thank you guys so much for your support. What a battle this is, and we're in the throes of it. It's funny how yesterday I was sitting there when the bounces were moving against me. I just felt like I had no confidence. I was like, just had 4 or 5 winning weeks, and then had the losing week last week by 3 units. But I was like, So 4 of 6, obviously. But that last unit hit me, and the Tuesday was a bad day, and I couldn't climb out of it. And then I started yesterday bad, and it's such a battle. But we have to believe in the process, and we have to do the work and know that the wins are coming. Or we wouldn't be here. Like, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be here if we didn't succeed. But man, the stakes are high, and we must succeed. Today's a big day for me. It's a big day. Respect. Mike M saying, like seeing the Twitter action from Torrey Torrance. I do too. I did retweet his thoughts on home teams last night, and then both covered very comfortably in the NBA playoffs. Mike Wilkerson's on Dodgers money line with us. I love that. DC Capper, Jarek White, D, Rance, Troy Torrance, North Ender, Billy Friedrich, Big Looch, Saturated, Harold Williams, Isaac Torres, DC Capper, Kong's Clips, D Mills, Justin McElvey, Johnny K, Rob Free, Johnny Guns, Daniel Sun. Thank you guys all so much, man. Truly. Jacqueline, all of you guys, thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. It means a ton. It absolutely means a ton. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. And then finally, one more thought to Little Domo's mom, who's starting chemo here shortly. We will be thinking about her. Let's not close with the leche. It just doesn't feel right. Let's just close with talking about Little Domo's mom. She beat it 7 years ago. She's going to beat it again. And we're going to be sending her all the light and strength and support that we can as your friends, Little Domo. You're part of our family, and we'll be sending as much positive energy as we can to your mom. Thank you guys for watching.